You maniacs! You absolute maniacs! You accidentally rescheduled the stream to 9! Well, I can tell you that, like a recursive timeline, it was always supposed to start at 9. Hey there, everyone. Welcome to a Lore Ramblings. Name's Adam, and I do apologize. It was supposed to occur this hour, not last hour. And I'm
And
joined
uh,
by...
and I'm ImpCit, and we'll be discussing the Planet of the Apes role-playing game. Or actually,
Yes,
no, as the cover says, it is the role-playing game of the Planet of the Apes.
which is fair. It's taking the piss out of the franchise names. The franchise names
Yeah.
tended to be like that. So, the first thing
I
you're going to
rem
notice is that it is a West End Games book. No, it isn't.
n-
See, what happened was West End Games went defunct and bankrupt in the early 2000s, I think.
I
Late
think so,
90s,
yeah.
early 2000s. What happened was a new company called Magnetic Press Play got the rights to the system. And they've, on occasion, made new books like this one. This one's actually new. It's
And
so
I
new
will
that I don't think you can actually order it unless you got it via Kickstarter.
I remember seeing the Kickstarter and I thought, how do you make a game out of this?
The
But I
answer
also
is
saw
there's
that they
enough
made
material you
yeah,
can.
yeah, they made a dice tower out of the Statue of Liberty. I just thought that was cute.
Well, yeah, it's
And
one
and
of
I
the
and I
most
do find
iconic
it
bits from the
fitting
first movie.
and I do find it fitting because considering West End Games' history, they probably should have made a Planet of the Apes RPG back in the 80s.
I think they would have if they were able to get the rights to it. Since they did Star Trek, they did Star Wars, they did a lot of
Stars,
Star Wars.
Ghostbusters, I think they did
Ghostbusters.
Babylon 5,
Yeah, there's a Babylon 5 one. There's also a Men in
Men in
Black one,
Black.
which is one of the last ones they did. So this is right up their alley if they got the rights to it. And, well, let's be blunt. The franchise rights were probably very easy to get if you had the inclination to, because the movies are, the original run of movies are very interesting.
So there were 5 original Planet of the Apes movies,
Yeah, it wasn't just one.
each one progressively lowering its budget. I think actually the 5th one they got 200,000 more to a 1.9 million.
Which, hey, that's quite a bit in 70s money. That's like that's almost a double digit. I think that's almost double digit.
And again, the history of it is fascinating because it began as a French novel, then adapted into an English screenplay or American screenplay by Rod Serling of The Twilight Zone.
That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense
Yeah,
because it has that
they
sort of
got
energy.
very, it got Charlton Heston on it.
Hmm.
It had this wonderful special effects in terms of the makeup because they weren't using rubber masks; they were using makeup on the simians, and of course,
Several pieces were pioneering actually.
yeah,
They pioneered quite a few prosthetic pieces
the famous twist ending of he wasn't on an alien planet; he was on Earth,
in the future.
which spoiler alert, but everyone knows this.
Yeah,
It's a
if
common
you're
thing,
hearing
even
a
if you
complaint
haven't
about
seen it.
spoilers, I'm sorry. Like it's what was it? Early 70s?
68,
68.
68.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, at this point you can't really be spoiled on that.
It
You just can't.
then after it got rave reviews,
It
box
is a
office
genuinely
success,
good film, by the way. I do
they
recommend if you've
yeah.
never seen it, I do recommend watching it. I think it's definitely a lot better than the remakes, but we're not talking about them yet.
Then they got they wanted to make a
Beneath the
sequel.
Planet of the Apes, which is I've seen
Yeah.
this one. This
But
is a weird one.
Charlton Heston, who was the star of the first film, did not want to do sequels. He thought was beneath him. So they got him for like a few days worth of acting. He donated his salary, and he made them ensure there were no more sequels by blowing the planet up.
Yeah, Beneath the Planet of the Apes is interesting. So
It
I'll,
it ends.
it
y-
ends with the
Go
Earth
ahead.
exploding. I've seen the movie. I can explain this.
Yeah.
So because he didn't really want to be on it, they had to actually make a different character the main lead. I don't remember if it was the girl or if it was or if it was the other two, or if it was Roddy McDowall and the other lady who played the
No,
two chimps.
no, it was
Because that's the
they
third
got
movie. They got Rodney
yeah,
McDowall again for the third and fourth one.
they got a guy who was like budget Charlton Heston for the second film,
Okay.
but and then the third film
Well, no,
they
because
go back
let
into
me get to the plot. So basically, the really simple plot is it's called Beneath the Planet of the Apes because there was a stretch of humans that did survive and kept their intelligence. They became essentially hyper intelligent Morlocks underneath the planet, and they had a shitload of nuclear ordnance. How much nuclear ordnance? It detonated the Earth's core at the end of the film. Essentially, if I recall correctly, their supercomputer malfunctioned, and I think the Charlton Heston replacement was trying to fix it, fails,
no,
and the
no,
planet explodes.
no. What happens is the apes find out because they want to destroy all trace of human civilization. They go murdering, they kill Nova, they kill everybody.
It has been a
Charlton
while.
Heston, Charlton Heston at the end asks Dr. Zaius to save them, and he refuses, and so Heston just blows up the planet. And by blows up, I think instead it it does what people thought the atomic bomb would do and light the Earth on fire.
It has been a
And this is
while
a
since I've seen the
G-rated
second one.
film. As I said, this was G-rated.
By the way, I hated this one. This is my least favorite of the 4 out of 5 I've seen.
The third one, because of the way that
In
the
short, what happened was the producer really fucking hated the Charlton Heston request. So what he did instead was, when the project came about, the director goes, how the the director was given two sentences: new sequel, the apes survived. That's all he
so
had as a guideline. So what he came up with, because of course you have to for this one, time travel. This is where Roddy McDowall and, oh god, what's her name? She
Zira.
played the sympathetic
I, d-
Zira. Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't remember her actress's name, but basically those two characters are the only survivors because of a freak accident.
And one scientist.
Yeah, because of a freak accident, and they're sent to Earth's past, where they kind of just interact with the world, and I believe get captured as and tested as experiments before they fall in love. The two characters fall in love, have a kid, try to escape, and then get killed. And their son becomes the eponymous Caesar that takes over.
The fourth film
This is my
takes place
favorite besides the first
takes
one.
place a few decades later, where, as the monkey said, there was a virus that killed all of the cats and dogs, and so the solution to that was to use apes as domesticated labor. Also,
Well,
ape
first as
intelligence was
pets, then
increasing.
labor.
Ape intelligence was increasing, and human intelligence actually was decreasing. So, due to the mistreatment, the apes rise up, and then the solution, as apes are rising up all over the world, is all the nations of the world undergo the Great Nukening.
And the reason the apes are organized so well is because Caesar is the future ape line, so he actually was completely sentient on the level of the other characters. The other
The
apes were
fifth
not.
one, yeah, the fifth one is them trying to have this sort of peaceful community between apes and humans, but it breaks down. The mutants start attacking humans. There's inter-ape quarrel. That's where it ends. Then they try to do a live-action TV series with Roddy McDowall,
That only did they only were able to
one
get less than
season.
a season.
Then an animated series
Yeah,
that lasted a season. Then we heard nothing about Planet of the Apes until the 1999 remake or the 2001 remake, which bit faithful to the original book because it actually is a guy going to another planet where apes rule, then coming back and it turns out apes take over our world. Then they
ah,
did the trilogy back in like what 2014, which was apes as a get more intelligent due to experimentation on Alzheimer's virus
which
or to
also
try to
infected
treat Alzheimer's.
humans because of cross contamination.
So it's more like seeing these civilizations rise up.
It's basically they liked the concept of the fourth movie because I think besides the first movie, this is the one that had the best script. They liked it, but they wanted to make it more realistic. I'm putting in so many fucking air quotes, it's ridiculous.
Also, NDR. Yeah, that's not the only thing you have to suspend your disbelief about. They, there's another book to this, which is a source book detailing the various eras of time you can play. And apparently, in not only did America elect Barry Goldwater as president in the 60s, Texas secedes, and then after all of this in the 80s, we vote in the authoritarian party.
So the bad thing is I actually wouldn't be surprised if that was like one-off lines from the first movie, like before they head off. I wouldn't be surprised if those were like lines in the original movie.
Could have been.
I don't remember. But yeah, in short, it has a lot of properties. They have made a lot, so I am not surprised that they made an RPG book. Oh, whoops. There we go. No, come on. There we go. I hate PDF readers where if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, it instantly goes to the next one. I hate that design. Apologies for that. So let's get into the book proper now, which has some pretty good art. I think these guys look more like Tellarites than they do gorillas, in my opinion. I also think it's really funny that they kept the designs because here's the thing: the prosthetics for the faces were really good, but you could still tell they were dudes in costume because, well, gorillas don't have that profile. They
You
just
could
don't.
tell those kind of an evolutionary thing almost,
You could say that, but I think
which is
it's just prosthetics
also
for that would have been too expensive.
it's very much rooted in what we thought the 70s understanding of simian so psychology was, because the gorillas are the violent ones when in reality they're the more social ones, and the chimpanzees, yeah, they're the opposite. They're savage motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's really funny. It should have been the chimps in the military and the gorillas in the peacenik diplomatic corps.
But we didn't know. We just didn't know at the time.
But yeah, Magnetic Press Play made this, and here's a nice cover piece that I don't think looks like it's from Planet of the Apes, although it could be. It looks more like
E-
something you'd see in, I don't know, Lord of the Rings almost, with a bit of John Carter.
Except that's the church to the St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Oh, that's what it's supposed to be?
Oh yeah, that is.
Okay.
That's where the bomb was.
Oh, it's been
Which
so
was a
long.
repurpose. It was a repurposed set from a musical. It was originally gold. They just painted it differently, and it looked like a dusty old ruin.
I'll be blunt. I really fucking hated Beneath the Planet of the Apes, so I kind of forgot a lot of it. I think it's easily
The,
the worst of the four movies I've seen. Well, five if
the
you
other
include the
the other
remake.
great thing about this book, it's all or primarily from the point of view of apes.
Well, it'd have
Everything
to
is
be.
written that way.
It would have to be. Ape Together, dumb. How's it going, folks? From Donman. Pretty decently. Pretty decently. We're both a little bit under the weather, but that's fine. But yeah, let's get into chapter one, where it's written from the point of view of the apes. What will you find out there? Your destiny. If what else, not ape. Uh, in addition to apes, you can assume the roles of time-lost astronauts, or as the apes call them, astronauts. You can
You
also
could
play
play as
mute
a
tribal humans. You can even play
and
mutants, which
mutants.
hey, that's from the second and fifth movie.
Yeah,
Beneath only has the plot it has because Charlton Heston was like, just blow up the fucking planet. I never want to be in this shitty ape series again.
I just need the planet to be destroyed. I need it to be
I'm
destroyed.
going to try to
I'm
defend the NRA and take your guns while
no,
pretending that
no,
I
it's not.
want your gun, that I
Not
want you to
no.
keep
This is
them.
not yet. No, I'm
No,
starting
no,
to go
no. He
Republican.
started at this point.
Well, no, he went Nick. Yeah, I'm going out and voting for Nixon in '72.
I mean, he was still part of the NRA at this point, if I recall.
Yeah. I mean, though, to his credit, he was actually promoting civil rights and was actually at the March on Washington '63.
Well, yeah, because there was a bit of a pivot slowly. It,
Yeah.
it happens.
I'm pretty sure the summers of '68 kind of changed that.
So, the many eras of play. The Planet of the Apes saga spans 2 millennia of time, and a lot of changes occur during it. The core rulebook focuses on the far future where humans are mute animals and apes rule the planet. Other supplements, such as the Ansa sourcebook, will touch other eras of play. I wonder if they also got the rights to the remake.
You know what? They might be able to do a remake version, but the answer one allows you to play in literally the 1960s where there are going to be no apes up to like 2040.
I don't really see there being much of a point to do the 60s one.
Actually, if well, you could start there as an astronaut, then go into the far future.
Yeah, you can, but I mean, it'd make more
And like the
sense to
stuff, well,
start
no, and
here.
the stuff that you did in the past has repercussions in the present. Like you're exploring, you end
Okay,
up finding ancient artifacts that's like you caused.
okay, that's at least a little more interesting.
That that that'd be fun.
So here's the history of the planet, according to this book. A planet devastated. The nuclear exchange between major powers kicked the Earth off its axis and transformed the entire environment. Tectonic plates shifted, producing new volcanoes and seas of lava. Entire cities were folded over themselves and buried deep underneath the surface. So, yeah, the nukes are a lot more devastating in this world. Huge tracts of toxic wastelands dubbed forbidden zones cover more than half the globe. And most people who survived in small enclaves and farming communities until those two fell apart. They devolved in the irradiated wilderness, their intelligence fading until they turned back to Stone Age society. Which here's the disturbing thing. Intelligence is actually very resource intensive,
Hmm.
evolutionarily speaking. This is actually plausible.
Yeah, I could see that.
No, because
Well, I
your
mean,
brain eats up well over a fifth of your calorie requirement.
oh, but also you just forget things. Like
You don't what?
you don't like need to learn complex stuff if you are going to be surviving day to day.
That too.
Though the idea of language disappearing, I have a feeling Stone Age people still had some form of language.
They did. Early Homo sapiens were capable of language. I believe the first species of hominid that was capable of it in full was Heidelberg man.
Ah, what would be funny though is if, as apes evolved, humans degenerated further, and you then got Neanderthals on the planet of the apes.
Well, that wouldn't really apply well because they're technically a different species.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
What would instead happen is you would see I would say the equivalent of you would see the ape men from your standard 1920s adventure drama because the concept of devolving like that it could happen hypothetically. Like it would just require as an adaptation for hairiness to become more popular again.
Hmm.
But yeah, from the ashes rose new dominant species, the apes. How did they get this way? Was it a virus? Was it genetic manipulation? No, it was time travel. It was time
Well,
travel
and a
and
virus.
probably a disease that Caesar carried. Yeah. But yes, wake for a world. In the aftermath of the atomic fires, they formed their own society, developing systems that for the most part traded technologies and the trappings of their master for simple lives. They were free from the temptations of evil, which is that's a fucking lie. That's the entire point of the first movie. Is that's a fucking lie.
Hmm. A lawgiver rose and inscribed a series of laws, parables, and virtues into the sacred scrolls. A quota system was put in effect to keep every ape in their place. And the most important rule: ape shall never kill ape.
Unless it's in the forbidden zone, in which case that's where you can do it legally as black sites.
Huh?
I'm not even. I mean, that's a major plot point in the first movie. Sorry, I'm spoiling that, but like the entire ape society is the entire point was they're more human in their regard because of their intelligence than they want to admit.
But then we get a short little timeline, which kind of still doesn't make sense if they're saying 1700 years ago chimpanzees were used proficiently, but in the movies it was in the 1990s or the 80s.
I think what they had to do is they were trying to make it a little more plausible. I think they're trying to make
Yeah,
it a little more plausible. So yeah, 2,000 years ago, space agencies begin sending astronauts on deep space missions. A mysterious fatal plague falls upon dogs and cats, and by the time the virus is contained, humankind is without their pets. Because birds like parakeets and shit. I guess those were also killed. The weirdos who collect snakes and reptiles. I guess all those animals died. I guess you can't just do a
that yeah.
re-domestication program.
Then 1800 years ago, through genetic manipulation, apes are made more docile and their stature is altered to appear more human-like. Ah,
That's
so that's why they
kind of
look. That's
creepy.
why their faces look like rubber.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah. Well, now they're able to do their own shopping. Then, I do like this. 1500 years ago, a cabal of scientists discovered the virus that kills the cats and dogs, increased simian intelligence, and decreased human cognizance. Their findings are ignored because they're nerds.
That's interesting. That's actually kind of interesting because there are diseases like that. What are the? Okay, hear me out. I have a weird idea. Since the virus happens, what would if it was like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, where it was an attempt at doing something with the rabies vaccine?
Ooh, yeah,
Because
like
there
because in
are a few
Rise,
viruses that cross over entire kingdoms
the
of
Zoonot, yeah,
mammalia.
yep. Then 1450 years ago, Aldo, an ape endowed with the power of speech, stands up to his authorities and says no, which is technically Caesar. But in the fifth movie, Aldo, a gorilla, had killed his son, and my guess is that Aldo kind of rewrote history.
Oh, by the way, here's the other interesting thing. I think the remakes also used the fifth movie because you're referencing it. I think they used it for the newest one as like
Well,
the baseline.
the newest one, this is like decades, maybe centuries after the second film, and so the idea of Caesar is sort of more myth because the gorilla in charge is named Proximus Caesar, so he's taking on that legacy.
Okay.
But then we get radiation, fallout mutating the virus, accelerating its effects. 1300 years ago, uh, ape relations continue to degrade to the point where controversial texts are made apocryphal.
Uh,
Many unsubstantiated records are attributed to the unknown ape, and all texts credited to a single lawgiver.
So yeah, essentially what happened is exactly what you thought happened, Donimos. Essentially the apes did degenerate into a weird creation because they didn't want to admit that they were a servant race at all and that humanity once was their masters. They essentially stifled the sciences. The original idea was likely to also contain the rise of technology because reminder, technology also is responsible for the world almost fucking ending.
Yep. Then, 1100 years ago, the first documented human astronauts fall from the sky, and the Ape Council decides to keep their existence a secret.
Essentially, this is more bullshit.
Yeah. Uh, 900 years ago, hellfire rains from the skies, laying waste to centuries of regrowth. Settlements are caught up with each other, and ape civilization has to begin anew. And
Oh,
all known
okay.
records of
So,
humankind's former rule are gone.
so do you want to know what 900 years ago is supposed to be? That's beneath
What?
the planet of the apes.
Oh, that might be interesting if that's
No, that's
like,
their attempt to basically because they didn't want to just completely end the far future. They didn't want to have
well,
just a pure
no.
recursive loop.
Well, hold on. Because they then say 800 years ago the planet recovers, but outlying pockets of intelligent humans are expected to exist. Radiation combined with the mutated virus has rendered most mute. Then today, the quota system is abolished. That's from the second film.
Yeah. The apes of Simia believe that they are the only ape nation that
I th-
remains.
I think this is to show, okay, why isn't there any advanced technology? Well, meteor strikes.
Well, in this case, a second nuclear apocalypse as well. Let's
I
be
don't think it's
blunt,
a
it's also a
oh,
second nuclear apocalypse.
could be
Yes, they had an ape Jesus Percival. They had a couple of them.
the
Originally it was
lawgiver.
Caesar before Aldo killed him. And then
Yeah,
there's the guy who came up with the texts.
which no, that gives us to describe what is our GM. Well, there's the lawgiver, both prophet and deity, the greatest ape of all. Then there's the LG, which is the lawgiver, and the ape lawgiver is a type of priest or clergy ape.
It's probably not a good idea to use lawgiver in 3 different ways.
That's human thinking.
They call themselves astro. So the reason that apes have this weird way of pronouncing astronaut is it's because it's in the book.
Yeah.
That's a book thing.
And I do like here they do give a little shout out to West End Games and the system they create.
Well, they have to. This is their licensing. Also,
Yeah.
if you are wondering, the weird stuff that happened in the Burton movies was partially because it is based on the book. Like it's
The
closer to the
book's
book.
weird. Like
The book
the
is
book
weird and
this
inferior to the '68 movie, in my opinion.
like you were supposed to have an advanced technological society of apes. Then the human comes back and then apes take over and instead of seeing the destroyed Statue of Liberty, he just sees the destroyed Eiffel Tower.
Which is why Charlton Heston reacted the way he did, because that's what the astronaut there did.
I mean, because in the movie, he was entirely convinced that he's on another planet. Like, this can't be Earth. They literally say, this star, it's too white to be Betelgeuse. Like, it has to be a different planet. There's no way. Because, again, they were flying one direction. And then finally, he sees proof that there was a human civilization, all that. And then finally sees, no, this is exactly our planet.
And that's, I think, a much better twist than what they did in the book. It's a
Oh, very much
genuinely
so.
it's a genuinely better written. I think the movie is genuinely better than the book.
It's like how Soylent Green, the actual book Soylent Green was based on, Make Room, was all about concerns of Malthusian overpopulation rather than humanity is so screwed that we're eating people.
It's also similar to how the Shining movie is a lot better than the book in terms of pacing. Hence why when Stephen King did his own take on The Shining, it was a lot worse.
Because here's the thing, books and movies have different mediums. You're
Hmm.
going to cut things, change things, make things more cinematic. Since instead of using your own mind when you're reading the text, you have a camera showing you what's going on.
And also, movies have certain time constraints. You can't really do a 5 hour movie. Like, if the book needs a 5 hour movie to be exactly told, you got a couple of options. You either have to cut it in half, or you just don't do it. You turn it into a short OVA run.
But
Because
to
longer
get
series can be
into
done done by television.
to get in the mechanics of the game, it's the magnetic variant of the D6 system. So, for those who don't know of the D6 system, you have your attributes and skills. You combine that for a dice pool of six-sided die, and you roll that to see if you get above a target number.
So the big difference is that they combined mechanical and technical into knowledge, just so that they can then add a sixth ability called willpower, which is essentially them converting it to to more of D&D brain, because willpower is the equivalent of your wisdom, sort of, kind of.
There's also, for this case, it's used for psychic powers.
I think this is a decent change. I have no issues with that.
Yeah.
I don't. They've added a couple other little things, mostly stuff like mementos or persona.
So bonuses, kind of, I say that's kind of an add-on from I don't know, like the storyteller system.
It could be an add-on from Storyteller system, or like Percival suggested, it could be based on Shadowrun. I'd have to I think yeah, I think they might have borrowed a bit from Shadowrun. Given that this is a system that's been used for decades, it's fine to reinvent the wheel. I'm just happy that they were smart enough to not try to reinvent a D6 dice pool system.
Yeah.
Like, why do that
Modern
if you can get the
it's
rights to it?
modernizing it. Like they instead of moving away from reaction skill rolls, defenses boil down to either you're surprised, you're readied, or you're psychic.
Psyche being your mind ability, yeah. Also,
And then
there's
you have
VSM, vehicular static or mobile.
then in addition you have a wild dice, which you do roll whenever, even if you have no skill or uh, no points in a skill or attribute. That does also have bonuses.
Okay, so essentially, this is the way. Like, if you have no talent, this is the one die you get. Because sometimes you might be able to pull it off.
Which is a bit similar to that to the Alien RPG where you have the stress die.
Fair enough. Also, psionic powers are a thing mainly because of the second and fifth movie.
Hmm. Then they
Got a
give us the
gamer, we
modes of
got you covered. The reference materials are an essential part of the RPG, opening up the world of possibilities. So additional releases are designed to enhance both your knowledge of and your game with new histories. Essentially, they're like, "Oh, do you not know how to invent stuff on the fly? Don't worry, fam. You could buy more of our books."
then they do give us modes of play, thematic mode reflecting on the spirit of the first four films,
Oh,
suspense
you don't like the
action.
fifth movie at all?
I don't know. They just said the first um, escalating threats leading to an emotionally charged, brutal ending. And some of the topics being bigotry, environmentalism, self destruction, satire, socio-political commentary, and animal rights.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, these are all
Which, yeah,
things that kind of occurred in most of the films. I mean, bigotry especially, like that's one of the big things in all of the movies. Environmentalism is an aspect just because of the post-apocalypse. Self-destruction, yep. With
said
apes at the top of
especially
the
in,
evolutionary ladder, will they do the same?
yeah,
They
well,
fucking did in the second
hold on.
movie.
Especially the satire, when in the second film you literally had the chimpanzees doing Vietnam era style sit ins.
Oh, it's also a really fun thing that's because of the change in society and evolution. One of the things you can do is to play around with that psychology. Remember, humans are the only animals that bare their teeth as a form of friendliness.
Oh.
Remember, other apes see that as a threat sign.
Hmm.
So if you're smiling, that means that you're planning on killing a bitch. Tars Tarkus fighting a gorilla would be good for a few laughs, I'd bet. He'd lose. Actually, if he's able to survive on Earth's gravity, because the thing
Oh
about
yeah, that's right.
he's stronger. He's about as strong. Like the Green Martians are about as strong as an Earthman. So I'm sorry, but I think Tars Tarkus would lose to a gorilla. Although in fairness, I think he would win in a sword duel.
No, well, what if it said John Carter of the Planet of the Apes? Percival had that idea,
You're
but
joking, but that's a
he
Comic
wakes
Con.
up. He wakes up in the tomb.
He wakes up in the tomb and like he gets out of it and sees it's underground for some reason. No,
Yeah.
you're talking about something that I think they actually did.
Remember hearing also they did like a King Kong of the Planet of the Apes, which that's
That sounds really funny.
yeah. So moving on to character creation, obviously you got your motives, some of the quirks that you have, because I mean they were
Oh,
all
also there's an entire
quirks.
little section on discrimination because here's the thing. Because of the three lines of apes that eventually formed society, they were formed by humans to do three different tasks. Chimps were clerical workers, Gorillas were service workers like janitors and eventually military, and the orangutans were research assistants, right?
Yes.
That gives them an extremely powerful caste system and very, very strong stereotypes.
Not to mention that in the fourth film, Caesar's one of his close human confidants is a black man who does say that he's a descendant of slaves. You have that also as a dynamic.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. Yeah, the they're speaking things that in some cases might annoy you, but like this is intrinsically part of the setting. Like it just genuinely is. If you're playing an ape, like if you're playing a chimp, you're going to be probably called a namby-pamby liberal. If you're playing a gorilla, you're gonna be looked at like a violent monster
You know what I
sometimes.
realize now? All in the Family of the Planet of the Apes, where Mike Stivic is a chimpanzee and Archie and the bunkers are gorillas.
I'm just and then you got one of the rare semi-sentient humans that are able to talk. As-
There's humans moving in. Ah, humans.
No, no,
I
actually,
mean, they're
it's either a tribal human or it's an astronaut. It's like a random cosmonaut that got lost. Great, an astronaut that doesn't even know what they're called. Starts talking in Russian at them. I don't know what gobbledygook are you saying. Is this some new tribal thing? Have they taught the humans how to ape language?
Edith. He doesn't even speak ape. How can I be around him?
I'm just envisioning starring Yuri Gagarin as the Cosmos not.
Yuri Gagawat. Come on, Arch. He's just like us. He's like us? He's practically naked. He doesn't have any fur on him.
Besides that, if he's like us, does he doesn't know shit from the lawgiver.
But
Conan the Barbarian upon the
mhm,
planet of the apes during the invasion of the body snatchers during a Sharknado with Flash Gordon, as taken from the Journal of the Wills Saga 1, The Space Flight. You're joking, but that's kind of what happened in the fictive Suicide Note that was an attempt to combine all Lucasfilm properties into one cosmos.
written by a guy who may be a young Earth creationist.
Yeah. But the character persona, sorry about that. Your character will have quirks and motives and remarkable abilities. So your motives are what drives you. Your quirks, you usually have a personality quirk and
Then,
remarkable abilities.
yeah, then you do have awards, XP, and hero points help you get edge in battle.
Essentially, from what I can tell, they're equivalent to fate points, destiny points.
Hmm.
You just use them up. It's also similar to Edge from Shadowrun.
Yeah. Then you've got mementos, and they even say using live action mementos can add another layer of game immersion.
Oh, that's a really fun idea, NDR. Think about it like this. Okay, hear me out. You run into a scenario like you're an astronaut or you're actually a chimp or no, you're an orangutan like you're a party of apes, right? And you go, "Oh, it's another astronaut." And then there's just a dog in there. There's like a dog like Leica in the pod.
I mean, the other thing I can think of
Like
is
you've never
you
seen
have
this
a
animal before.
yeah. Oh, you're right.
They've been extinct for like a what is it, a millennia at this point?
Yeah.
You see animals that you've never seen before, and they're starting to get sick, and no one knows why.
Oh, oh, that's just cruel.
It's the virus. Oh, unless you
I
want it
know.
unless you want it to mutate and it doesn't affect them for a while.
It's just like, oh, a dog, and the whole plot revolves around you're just watching a dog slowly die.
Well, no, no, because you have an orangutan scientist, you're trying to come up with a cure. But but here's the thing: the other orangutan scientists don't want you to, and here's why: because they've learned a while ago that that virus is the only thing that's keeping humanity purely down, because it infects new humans, preventing any chance of their intelligence growing. And there's also
Mm,
concerns that if the vaccine is a thing, it might undo their intelligence because they don't know. A
mm,
lot of knowledge on this sort of stuff is lost, right?
yeah.
So that could be your entire plot. Like you're trying to save these weird four-legged animals, and you're roped into the ape society, which is proving to be more corrupt than you think it is. There you go. That's a campaign right there.
Oh yeah. They're like personal. As a Brazilian, I feel represented by this game. Good job. It turns out Brazil, there's been no change. It is still the same Republic of Brazil.
It's the only place that's not been affected at all. So this planet's run by several different ape, human, and mutant archetypes, and you can include many roles. Also, here's a nice piece of art of I think that's the Brooklyn
I also
Bridge.
I do need to add this. You can take the option of a gorilloid, a cybernetic mutant ape who lives in the Forbidden Zone.
Oh yeah, I think that's a thing they came up with in the fifth movie.
I think that's from the no, I think that's from the comics.
Oh yeah,
It
it's
just
from the
sounds
comic. It's either
it
from the
sound
comic or the cartoon.
that's a comics thing.
It's a comic or cartoon thing.
Yeah. But now we get into the attributes and skills. We've got dexterity, which is
Actually, no, I think that's the Golden Gate
acrobats.
Bridge. Sorry, I was just looking at that.
Yeah,
But yeah, your dex
a-
knowledge, which is just your intellect, mechanical
acrobats.
skills.
Well,
It,
it's acrobats and melee combat.
well, I'm just highlighting. These are like kind of standard, so that's why I'm not focusing too hard on them.
Yeah,
Like they're pretty
knowledge.
standard.
Yeah, you got knowledge, mechanical, which
Yeah, you can be dumb
is
as
for
pig shit and
vehicle.
still know how to fix a tractor.
Yeah, perception. You've got things from gambling to marksmanship, strength, willpower, size skills, and of course, then you got your attribute. You can have pips to them, which do
I love how one
bonuses.
of the powers is transmogrification. So you could just say skedaddle, skadoodles, your arms are now noodles, and that's a thing that can happen. You can literally transmogrify someone into you could turn them into the I have no mouth and must scream thing.
Also, if you have 3 pips, so if you have a +1, +2, a +3 turns into an additional die roll.
That's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah. Then you've got obviously you got then the difficulty numbers. Difficulty number 5 is very easy, up to 30, extremely difficult. But then they have a success and failure chart. So if you just score the difficulty number, it's a partial success. You get what you want, but you get a setback. Anything from
I've never been a fan
plus
of that.
1 to 2 times, it's an ordinary success.
Okay.
Exceptional success is anything greater than 2 times the difficulty number.
Oh,
And
okay. So you need to get one over. Okay, that's not too nonsense. So okay, so the way the dice system pool works is you just count up your points from what it sounds like, which is fine.
so well, the way I see
So
it,
like
if
if
a
I roll it,
five,
like I have 2d6 and like I have 2d6 plus 2 pips, right?
mhm,
So I roll like I roll the 2d6, I get like a 3 and a 2. That's 5, and with the 2 pips, that's 7. I can do a very easy task. I would fail the easy, but I could do the very easy because I got over the DN by 2. That's an ordinary success. If I
I
had
mean,
like
yeah.
4d6 and I rolled 6, 6, 4, and then like 1, that's 17. I'd be able to do an average, or if it was very easy, it would be an exceptional success.
Yeah. I mean, the way I see this is so if it's a very easy and you only have one die roll, then you just have a 1 in 6 chance of succeeding. Everything else is either you have 1 in 6 of a partial and then 2/3 chance of ordinary failure, which you
It's an
just fail.
interesting choice to do this system. Usually with D6s, what they usually go for is 5s and 6s, or only 6s count as successes. That's usually what they usually go with. This system's not too bad though.
Yeah, it's just a dice pool.
It's just you count up your results on the dice, you add any pips you get, and then that gets you what you want. By the way, good night, Donman. We
Yep.
will be going on for a while, so you can catch up.
Yeah. Then you have the wild die, which is a specific die that you probably get through the Kickstarter.
I
If
mean, it's
and you
probably just a
roll it,
differently colored dye.
you
At least,
and
at
here's the
least
thing.
they doesn't sound like it's
Yeah.
probably green or like a glowing green. It could be a glow in the dark dye.
And you roll it even if there's no way you can fail on a roll because you have um, alpha and omega advantages. Alpha, which is a 6, you get to choose to either get an ordinary success, get 2 hero points, give another ally a hero point if they succeed. If it fails, you can get exploding dice or other bonuses. If you roll a 1 or you get an omega, the lawgiver chooses a setback or makes sure the roll fails, but you get hero points, turns failures into catastrophic failures.
So my question is this. So you always do the wild die. Why would the Omega result even be a problem if you got like an exceptional success?
Because the lawgiver can say the roll fails, but you gain 2 hero points.
Or I can just punch them in their stupid shitty face with the dice until it goes down their throat. Eat
Yeah,
shit and die.
I
I hate that.
I
Eat shit and die. I hate that mechanic.
it's trying to, I guess, have a much more dramatic effect.
No, I'm sorry, but if you get an exceptional success, if your DM tells you no, you fail anyway, fuck you. Fuck you. Here's the
Yeah,
thing, right?
that
If you got the
you do
die,
get
if you got the exact result, right, and then you wild die, that's fair, okay? Because that's a
yeah,
partial success. The complication being it's just a failure, like a bare failure.
you
Okay.
do get the sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. If it's but the way it's written, you could get an exceptional success and the lawgiver could be like, "Nah, lol, you fail."
Yeah. They do, however, that then brings up the use of the hero points. So you might fail on that roll, and then you could do it again
No, I don't give a shit.
using
That's awful.
you
That's
can
awful.
it,
No, that's a fucking. That's nonsense.
yeah,
Now, if you said instead of it being an exceptional success, like if you knock it down by one, how it works is you can knock down a success level by one. So like if you get 2 times the dice number, you get an exceptional,
which
and it gets
which
knocked
they
down to ordinary.
yeah,
That's that's not unreasonable.
which they do. If you get an ordinary success, it becomes a partial success, and you gain a hero point.
Or alternative, the setback at the very least is this is just stupid. This is a
Yeah,
stupid mechanic. I
I
hate
would
this
have.
mechanic. Because what I'm envisioning, because the roll straight fails. Imagine if you got, like you had a very difficult die, and collectively the party fucking nailed it. Like you were able to get not
But
quite
you roll
double,
that
but you got
one.
like 40 on that 25.
Yeah,
And then because you got one, because you got that omega complication on that die, and your DM tells you, or your LG tells you, no, that's a failure. No, child, that's a failure.
that's
Wouldn't you want to strangle their chicken shit pencil neck like a gorilla?
yeah.
Wouldn't you just like get over the
I mean that's a,
table and just like
I mean
greasy
that yeah.
strangle him?
That's not a good DM then, or a lawgiver.
But the problem is that this is raw.
His rules as
So
written.
legal so this is to quote Nixon, since we reference him, that means it is not illegal. That means it is not illegal.
Yeah, it's
I detest this mechanic. I don't mind the setback, and I don't mind the concept of it getting knocked down, but I'm of the
but the
opinion that unless you get exactly on the dot or one over at best, you should never take that as a failure.
then again,
If it meets
I
and you
do.
get the complication, that's the only time I would be okay with that mechanic.
Then again, I do see this with the hero points. You can spend a hero point to re-roll a failed roll, since it forces that roll to fail. Basically, the player can say, "Fuck you! I'm re-rolling it twice."
I genuinely
I
detest that
still, yeah,
mechanic.
I
Now,
not a good mechanic.
admittedly, the concept not awful, but think about it like this: statistically, you have a 16% chance every time you roll this die, and you roll this die every fucking time. Every roll has this die.
Yeah,
That is horseshit. That is completely fucking horseshit.
I would do it. I would do it with more the stress die, where you can choose to take it, but then the effects apply.
Okay, that's a great. You're saying that? That's a great idea because here's how this could work. Every time you fail a roll, you pick up a wild die. Like every time you fail a roll, if you want to push it, you add a wild die, but you have to keep that wild die after you push it.
I wouldn't say. I would just say use it in that moment of dramatic necessity,
I
and then it
Yeah,
can
that's
be.
the other one. If it's difficult or you're under pressure. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. If the character would be considered under pressure, like let's say you're in the middle of an attack and you have to hack open like there's this old human door in the forbidden zone you're trying to open and it's electronic.
And it says "Speak, friend, and enter."
That would be like, and you only have like X amount of turns before you're overwhelmed. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
would have wild die be the result of you have to do something fast. You either have to do something fast or it's deemed important. Basically, the players and the LG have to confirm that this is important. Like with the orangutan scientist, for example, in the campaign of curing the dog from the virus, like when you find out the virus affects dogs,
that final dramatic roll after a series of successes to see if you get the formula just right.
because otherwise you would get a setback.
And no, this is not a setback moment. This is a moment where do or die.
Although, admittedly, if you have it fail and they get well over the dice number, your players are going to actively kill. Your players are going to
Yeah,
do. Your players
this
are
is
going to pull an Aldo and kill you.
yeah, this is. But moving on then
This is
to
so far the only mechanic I fucking
yeah,
hate so far. This book's fine other than this so far.
they give us the kinds of actions we can do.
I will say it's pretty bad
There's
about using its page spacing, but it's also
yeah,
relatively short, so it's not a big deal.
there's
It's also
quick.
nice, like it's easy to
Yeah,
read.
everything's done in scenes, or if you're in combat, or some important stuff, rounds, which last 5 seconds. Then you have your quick, basic, and slow actions. Basic
Quicks
takes
are
a
instant,
round.
basically.
Yeah, yeah. Quick's instant. Basic is a round. Slow is more than a round, which can be anything from minutes to weeks or longer.
Also, I really like that that they punish you. So talking's usually a free action.
Yeah.
In this setting, no, it's time based. If you're going to say get down, that's a quick action. Get down, quick action. Trying to talk to
Yeah.
someone, that's either a basic or a slow.
Well, if you're trying to convince somebody.
I like that.
But then we get to the skills, and I love this. Annotated by Augustus. These were written by the former Minister of Science Augustus, a conservative traditionalist and head of the Anti-Reformist Committee.
He was a stout believer in the quota system and a proponent of human extermination. By the way, I do
His
agree with you,
well, wait,
Percival. I think the problem is the art assets are kind of generico.
yeah. His son though is
Very
Doctor
art
Zaius.
stationy.
That's
I'm not surprised.
so. Sleight of hand. Acts of deceit are performed by thieving astronauts, or as they say here, technical knowledge related to the industrial or electric technologies. Of course, it sounds to me like the infernal machines used by the astronauts and their underdweller kin, or crossing out drive of even bikes, cars, trucks, and tanks with
Nonsense.
nonsense. And then pilot. If apes were meant to fly, the lawgiver would have given us wings.
You like how the longer that it goes on, the angrier he gets, because it starts off slightly orange.
I honestly, when I read this, I thought it was Doctor Zaius writing this.
It might be.
No, it's his father.
No, but the red ones might be Zaius. Because notice there's a different
Ah,
color. Like
yeah.
there's,
If the text is blasphemous in nature, no, his notations are in red ink.
I actually really like that.
Yeah, like investigate, gathering information, doing research, and finding clues. Excelled at by orangutans.
Lifting a gorilla flex if there ever was one. Swimming, the very thought of it's appalling. A chimpanzee skill for bargain. Con, a human and mutant skill.
Yeah.
I just,
Then they give
I, I love.
modifiers.
I just love that
Yeah.
they did this. This is a good choice. I think. I
Yeah.
think a few more games could get away with doing this. I kind of like that. Oh man, that's fantastic.
Then they give us in chapter 3 the great apes.
The great apes, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see.
Uh,
I can see what you mean by the way on the art being a bit meh because it's very quick computer gener. It's very not computer generated, but you
It,
know that really quick brushstroke style that you see in. It feels unfinished. You get what I mean? Where they're not.
I don't know, it almost feels like a still from the movie.
Well, that's because it probably was. It was probably
Yeah.
just drawn over again.
And here's the thing, they do make a point of what happened to the other simians. Well, the greatest ape of all past judgment choosing orangutans, chimpanzees, and gorillas to lead simian society. All others diminished.
Yep, but the lawgiver decreed that each needed to pull its own weight and contribute, so the greatest apes of all past judgment, choosing the orangutans, chimps, and gorillas to lead them. Without purpose, the others eventually diminished and faded away, a lower form of primate. While sometimes
Yeah,
they can appear, they are considered extinct, despite persistent rumors of another jungle beyond the Forbidden Zone.
I would have loved the idea of like you've got lemurs, other types of monkeys, baboons, gibbons.
I kind of think that would I think that would be very interesting. I kind of wish they might do that in an expansion.
Oh, that would be great if they did an expansion.
This book was written by a sassy ape. I mean, yeah, essentially.
Yeah,
Lucan and
and
Amabel
that
had been the last of the bonobos, and their passing had left the world less kind. So what you're saying is the orangutan committed genocide.
probably.
Why must knowledge stand still? What about the future? Apes first. While you may be inclined to play astronauts such as Taylor or Burke from the Apes films and television series, we recommend starting as one of the apes. It's called Planet of the Apes for a reason.
Also because a lot of the other societies are, or a lot of the other character types are going to be quite hard to play, and we'll get into it. The chimpanzees, though, most likely could be ape scientists, ape journalists, ape activists, or even ape adventurers.
They used to make up the bulk of society, but now they're less than a third of it.
Hmm. Then we have the gorillas. Tend to be ape soldiers, ape constables, or a service ape, or a veteran ape, if you live for long.
They also highlight that here's the thing: they're seen as brutes, but that's mostly just because of what society pushes them to be.
Which actually is I think, a bit of a clever way to explain away the preconceived notions of how simians were supposed to be before we learned that no, they're more social. It's societally they're actually forced to be this way.
Many gorillas feel the need to expand their territory, whether that means doubling their seats in the Citizens Council or taking over a neighbor's plot of land.
And
They
then we
also
have
describe
the
what colors they tend to prefer.
yeah. Then they have the orangutans, which could be state ape, an ape inspector, a philosopher ape, or an ape lawgiver. A common orangutan saying is, if it's worked for so long, why even contemplate change?
Also, on top of that, they highlight that they tend to partake in elitist discourse. It's almost like their society, due to the quota system, was a fucking failure.
Yeah.
And here's the Sacred
And the
Scrolls.
Sacred Scrolls and the Articles of Faith. As you know, George Taylor didn't even know the Articles of Faith. The first, apeliness is godliness. Two, apes are all created equal.
Except for the ones we genocided.
Three, ape shall not trust man. And four, ape shall live by the sacred scrolls. And then the 13th, every ape must do his duty for God and state.
It really tells you that their society isn't that great.
Yeah. There are other simian texts such as the Book of Simian Prophecy, the Secret and Forgotten Scrolls, and the ever expanding Articles of Faith.
Badge of honor, badge of office. As an ape excels in their field, they are assigned badges of office, which are hieroglyphic symbols, and these are what they are.
I actually do like this, like in the Sacred Scrolls, where they say, "You may hear how this emperor, the unknown ape, bested great beasts, the Brek and the Kolop and the Mandes, and the ape who killed ape, then led his followers to the mountains, while others sought refuge on giant sea ships. But but know this also: such is the stuff of legends, not of gospel. So saith the lawgiver." And the children heard the truth of these words and was satisfied.
So what you're saying is, because I have a really funny idea. So, okay, hear me out. Baboon pirates, they were exiled for being too violent, even by gorilla standards.
Ooh.
So they have fled to the seas and have hijacked either old human boats or have learned to make their own. So you have the equivalent of Ape Waterworld, where the baboons are the smokers.
Hmm.
And just because why not? You also have their main flagship be the D's, which is the
Also,
Exxon
as
Valdez.
oh, oh, that'd be funny. You also have look through, because again, most of these simians are from the tropical areas, but you've got things like the flying lemurs. I want them to have an air force.
The rise of the non-apes, those with no rights. These, of course, include humans and mutants, but there are more. An ape who has committed crimes against ape, nation, and lawgiver can be declared a non-ape. They are treated as pariahs, but they can find themselves either exiled or executed. Because here's the thing: ape can't kill ape, but that doesn't mean you can't just simply do the equivalent of kicking them out of the party, i.e., deeming them non-ape, so you can kill them. Ape Society is just a cult. Well, essentially, yeah, it's what happens
Yeah.
when you have three different species that were essentially trained for three different roles forced together.
Then we have though talking about the ape government of Simia, the High Council, and then the Citizens Council, which is a tripartisan sampling of orangutans, gorillas, and chimpanzees. I'm pretty sure the High Council is just orangutans.
It tends to be.
And they give voting, uh, and how actually their voting will work.
Essentially, yeah, the High
In
Council is the
which,
main restriction
yeah,
of their society improving because essentially the orangutans, because they managed to very quickly get into positions of power, which is interesting, which is weird. I personally think it would have made more sense for the chimps to be able to
they
pull this off, given they were the bureaucrats in the pre-human
well
society.
they actually give this a point in the citizens representation. Chimpanzees make 20% of the population, so 40 of them represent the council, meaning 0.5% of the chimpanzee population. 60 gorillas making up 0.75% of a vote per the gorillas of the population, and the orangutans represent 1% of every of the orangutan population. So the orangutans have rigged the representation so that they still dominate. Their vote means more.
Yeah,
But as we know, all
despite
apes
that,
are equal.
and despite that, they still struggle because essentially the gorillas are starting to realize they're the guys that have the balance of power. That's the thing that they're kind of that they're hinting at. Basically, for anything to pass, the gorillas need to sign on. Usually they work with the orangutans, but they're starting to realize, wait a minute, I'm the kingmaker here. I'm the kingmaker here. Also,
And
there
they
are
give
special
us,
councils, like the Supreme
yeah.
Council of Elders or the Security
Also,
Council.
church and state are one.
Yeah,
Oh, that's wonderful. That's
yeah.
wonderful.
There's a reason. There's a reason that for the creationist parody of Futurama that they made essentially Dr. Zaius.
And the justice system. In case of heresy charges, the offenders are often left to defend themselves. No lawyer will be foolish enough to risk their own career representation.
I mean, I'll give
But
it this: that's easier to find defense lawyers in Ape Society than it was for the Soviet Union.
yeah,
Here's the thing: the Soviet Union had a lot of great prosecutors, mainly because they were very good at beating confessions out of people. Not a lot of defense lawyers. I think it
hmm,
took until Khrushchev and Brezhnev for them to even start existing, at least in enough moments.
yeah. Well, now we
Apetivists.
Yeah, the hell no, we won't go, which is literally a Vietnam protest statement.
Yeah. Can you imagine that the apes have conspiracy theorists? They try to spread the idea of banana Earth and mutant humans are behind every. I can see it, Percival.
Yeah, no, it was peace bead necklace, protest sign, can of paint and brush. Then they give us the ape journalist.
Also, here's the attribute. Here's how your attributes are weighted.
Yeah, so you don't roll forward, you get those attributes
So, ape
for yourself.
journalists. Yep. You have a favorite
Yep.
hat.
Camera with a tripod. The ape scientist. Your mentor's notes. I like the currency. Um, Gridgans.
Ah.
Then we have the state's ape. Would the gentle ape yield to a more thoughtful voice on the subject? You have a signet ring, an ape's new suit, the short look, and a dignified cane.
I just realized that they're kind of dressed. They're kind of dressed like the Chinese communist dress. I've noticed
Oh,
a little bit.
ah, I mean, it's based on the movie.
Yeah, but like the movie, I just realized that like yeah, there's kind of there's like a weird energy to the costumes.
Then you have the ape adventurer, worn travel journal. Surprised they didn't give a whip and a hat.
They look like they're about to go jogging.
Yeah. Then we get the ape lawgiver,
Which yeah, it's pretty obviously going to be orangutans usually.
which yeah, the unknown. This is a line here. Can one murder be avenged by another? Perhaps only the future will tell. The unknown ape is Caesar, and Virgil is the other guy. Virgil's human.
The ape inspector. The game is afoot. If
Uh,
there's a clue to be found, I will have it. Oh, he should have had
uh,
he should have had a Sherlock Holmes hat.
Polished quartz magnifying glass. Corn. No, wait. Yeah. An ape's fore and aft cap. A corncob pipe.
Thank you.
There.
Thank you. I needed
I do
them to
like.
have the hat.
I do like though with the ape lawgiver. Pocket scroll of lawgiver. You're encouraged to both draw up existing verses and make up your own. Yes.
That's actually a good idea. But by the way, I think the reason they look like Star Trek costumes, Percival, is I think several of the people who worked on Star Trek were hired to do the costumes for this movie.
But then we get the
The philosopher ape
philosopher
is literally wearing Jedi robes.
clay pipe herb pouch, a used ape suit, the long
Doesn't
look.
this guy look like he'd be on the Jedi High Council at one point? Like you'd see him in the
You're right.
background.
Jedi Master Bobo.
He can't actually speak, so instead he signs like Coco the gorilla. It's a reversal, like it's a reverse
That
take
could
in the Star Wars setting. Like all of the species can't talk, so instead they have a very developed set of echolocation clicks, but for trade. But like how you know how Jawas have their own trade language because they use pheromones a lot.
yeah.
Like
But
same
I do like
concept, but with
I do like the idea.
echolocation.
Yeah, you just have a chimpanzee. Just if he falls to the dark side, just wildly swinging that lightsaber around.
No, the Light Club. It's like a really thick beam of plasma.
He got discovered by a Jedi machine that was just a giant black slab of metal.
I'm unironically
2001.
envisioning it. That's fantastic.
Hey, if we go by that whole crossover book that was made uh, by that young Earth creationist, uh, yeah, turns out one of the immortal gods of the Sith is the Black Slab from 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know how that works.
It doesn't because it's a fictive suicide note. Anyway, service ape, which includes an illegal human tribe, illegal human pet.
I did like supernatural encounters though. Fun nerdy read.
Ew,
But
people. Yeah.
you get a lucky coin. Constable Ape. Pound Iron Glyph Badge. adds +1 die to your intimidation rolls.
Well, yeah, you're the officer.
Like security crossbow, enforcement cudgel, manacles.
Or a gun. They do have guns.
Oh, yeah. Realize cops. Bad apes, bad apes, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? And then we get
Uh,
ape soldiers with a medal of bravery. Veteran ape. Back in my day, we didn't. A photo of your former unit.
oh,
Most are gone now.
most are gone now. Personality, you're also grumpy and out of touch.
Sterling Arms Model 38. Half a jug of sweet apricot plonk.
Also, NDR has a really funny idea. You know, it'd be a great idea if you just send Han Solo onto the planet of the apes, like that one comic that did the reverse, where Chewie was stranded on Earth because Han died.
Han died, and then Indiana Jones found the corpse of Chewie. No, Chewie lived. Corpse of Han Solo. Boomer ape.
The
But we
Beast,
finally.
man.
It's a madhouse.
If you were caught by the gorillas, you must remember one thing: never to speak. Only apes can speak, not her and not you. If they catch you speaking, they will dissect you and they will kill you in that order.
And they do make it here that humans are good for something. The finest furriers, such as Zika's in Ape City, craft the most exquisite man pelts and human hides available. Well, not cheap. The quality of these humans' leathers and show they'll outlast the rest of your animal skins. And you can get a human pet, which your nickname is like Bright Eyes, Big Smile.
Yeah, because they reference that with the characters in the first of couple of movies.
Yeah. But you get your tribal humans, in which you can be either a protector, gatherer, lookout, or a healer. And this is important though. You can't speak. When you
Yeah,
play these characters, the attempt is to play the game without speaking.
that's not fucking possible except in Meat Space. So no.
Yeah.
You're going to either have to do it by
Yeah.
text, or you're just going to say that the character does it. I'm
But
sorry, but
yeah.
this only works if you're playing this physically.
Yeah. Percival, this isn't Dark Elder shit. That's what we do with animals today.
Yeah.
We animal leather.
Speaking of which, I think I know why the apes hate humans so much, given that they lost all their common pets. So I wonder if they lost other livestock. Maybe that's something they also did with the apes.
Also, I'm concerned then. What did white women do with the apes?
You know what they did. You know
At,
what they
yeah, they.
did. That's actually how the virus spread to humans and made them dumber.
Oh no, it's Gate and Dugas again.
I mean, hey, it's not the first time that's happened. Where do you think herpes simplex 2 and AIDS came from? Oh, and
Yeah.
monkeypox. I
Turns
fucking
out
hate
similar.
humans.
Turns out similar related species might spread diseases. But I do also
It
like here.
doesn't have to be similar. You just have to be near them. There's a reason we catch
Yeah,
several of our flus are literally avian flus or
yeah,
swine flus,
yeah.
and we've
That
also infected animals with our flus too.
saying the National Academy has issued an advisement warning that humans are likely to carry communicable diseases and should not be approached. Stray humans have been seen wandering the street at night, prompting the security police and constabulary to create a joint human catcher division. According to
Human
unconfirmed
vermin control.
reports, a rabid human will occasionally develop a taste for ape flesh. And they do make this point. If you play as a human, any injury that causes by a human's mouth has a septic bite to it, because these guys ain't brushing their teeth.
No, even any human, even astronauts, because apparently, no, I think I think is it? No, it's just a human in general.
Hmm.
According to unconfirmed reports, rabid humans will occasionally develop a taste for ape
Taste.
flesh.
And don't forget about that one woman that kept that that one ape that kept a human for a long time, and then gouged her face out. That happened in real life.
Yeah,
That's not good. But then we have the ape's ecology of a tribal human. They're migratory vegetarians who dwell in only places where food sources are scarce. Much like locusts, they will move on when a food source has been depleted.
Also, I do like the dismissed by more conservative apes as heresy. The theory of evolution suggests that apes evolved from a lower form of primate, most likely humans. Most likely humans.
And then they do say here, playing as a tribal human is challenge. As tribal humans typically cannot speak or even grunt, players are encouraged to keep silent at their table, instead communicating their intentions through action, emotion, pointing, pantomime, and even crude drawings.
I'm sorry, but the not even
While
making
hold
a
on, wait,
sound
wait.
thing is really stupid.
Yeah. While most tribal humans are somewhat docile and simplistic, PCs are cut above the rest. Um, Assume all PCs know about the apes. Through direct mimicry, some PCs may even have learned to utilize tools.
I kind of
And they
hate
do
that
say
they
here,
don't make
yeah,
noises. Like, here's the thing:
all
they should still be able to. Like, I know that's from the movie, but
now
never
now
made sense to me that they can't just like
yeah.
make
Now
grunts or like noises.
I guess the virus killed their vocal cords or just atrophied them.
But
But
no, because it's perfectly equipped for vocalization, meaning there's no atrophy. Also,
you're right.
vegetarianism. That's really stupid. That's
Well,
really
they
fucking
can't.
stupid.
Well, they can't say that humans eat meat. They got to be at least like some sort of wild animal. We've never seen them eat meat. That would require them to use heating and tools. And they can't do that. It says so in the Sacred Scrolls. Because again, that also contradicts what they literally say above, which is that there are unconfirmed reports of them developing a taste for ape flesh. They're not vegetarians.
So I just had a thought on why they might be more dumb than you think. I had a thought about that.
Prions,
Possibly. I was going to go
cannibal.
with a different idea though. Keep in mind that they have not gotten access to meat because the apes that keep them probably don't feed them that. And guess what's really
Ooh,
critical to develop infrastructure in your head? The
proteins.
proteins and fats from meat. That's why we evolved to get bigger brains when we started scavenging.
Ah, mm,
I'm not saying that the virus didn't do damage to their abilities and the loss of civilization. I'm thinking that they originally were a little closer to that and the virus didn't completely do it. I think it's the bad nutrition that finished it.
so I do want to say with the
Also
communication
with the
game table.
mutation to their genes from the radiation, you could also argue that they got knocked down to the equivalent of like early Homo sapiens.
Yeah, they the tribal human, the player character tribal humans. Obviously, I think you can communicate as a player, but in game they can't. So
I still
so
think you
they
should
give it
be able
here.
I still
Yeah.
think they should be able to vocalize noises if not
Well,
words.
I to understand the exact words of someone vocalizes, you need to make a perception evaluation check.
Yeah, that's
And
fair, but like I
players
think
should act they do want to say the players should act out what they want their characters to do, and if you can do so without words or sounds, reward the player with 1 to 6 extra hero points.
so what you're saying is you're going to have to doodle all over the map if you're doing this in a virtual tabletop setting?
Do
Like if you're playing a
yeah,
Foundry game? Okay.
I guess so. Um And then if you are near somebody who's able to talk, they may choose to spend XP to learn that, as well as learn gesturing abilities. And you can say if you want your tribal human PC to start with gestural language, talk to your LG bot, including an ape or an astronaut who has taught them prior to the campaign's start. Which, yeah, it does seem bullshit, but they are sticking with what's in the lore.
I know, I'm just highlighting that they should still be able to make noises. That's the thing I never really got unless their vocal cords were damaged, which they're not. You know what I mean?
Uh, yeah, that. Listen, that's just part of the story. But now we get to the astronauts.
Yep, these
My
strange
tribe,
people from space.
they live on another planet in another solar system. And you can be mission commanders, security specialists, science officers, and technical engineers. These astronauts look mostly the same as other humans, save for their shorter hair and matchless white, blue, or red clothing. Given time, they'll grow their hair and steal animal hides so they can blend into our human population with ease. Beware.
That's neat.
Yeah. So,
Although it's more likely they're either nature's deviants or ape-made abominations created in a lab by cynical chimpanzee scientists.
the chimpanzee known as Yakub.
Humanity reached for a future new star. Some 2,000 years ago, humankind began releasing near-light speed capable aircraft. Then they found their path
I've
forged their
yeah,
destiny. Accidental
I've
travelers through time.
yeah, I've told you where you are and when you are. You're 300 light years from your precious planet. Your loved ones are dead and forgotten for 20 centuries. 20 centuries! Even if you could get back, they think you as something that fell out of a tree. And also, despite us doing colonization, we only brought one female and three males. Kind of a horrible way to start a colonization effort.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been Vault 68, which in Fallout lore was 999 dudes and one woman. There's also Vault
You gotta
69, which is the opposite experiment with 999 women and one man.
I'd have a feeling in both cases that would end up being a both would end up being like a matriarchal society
It could be.
because there's no competition
I
in
mean,
either.
I'll be honest. The first one I think failed just due to population collapse, though.
Oh yeah, definitely would have.
I mean, most of the vaults were designed to fail
Yeah. But
because
then they
the
give
entire
us
thing was how do we
yeah,
deal with deep space problems?
deal with deep space problems.
Well, several of them were. Several other ones were
I
just
know,
because of
but
cruelty.
yeah, it's mostly, hey, let's take those weird and horrible scientific experiments we did in the 40s and 50s, and let's just reproduce them on an even crazier scale.
I think
The
my
Stanley
favorite
Milgram
was, hey,
prison
let's sabotage the radiation shielding in one, just so we could see what would happen if insufficient shielding for space travel happened. That's where the necropolis came from.
Yep. But back to Planet of the Apes. What? So they do make the point that the United Nations, the Chinese, the Soviets also had their own space agencies. The U.S. had two, ANSA and NASA. The American National Space Administration, which is the military branch, and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. I believe the former is entirely a fabrication of Planet of the Apes.
It was because I think the idea was it was supposed to hint at this is already like a slightly different world. I think it was ANSA in the original.
It was, yeah.
It also, if you're wondering why we never had a military, ironically, here's the irony. By splitting our project like this, I would actually argue that we would have been less advanced in terms of getting into space. This is actually the duplicative effort is part of the reasons the Soviet space program failed.
Mm.
Because there was an OKB for military-based rocket programs. There was an even smaller one dedicated to just not necessarily civilian but government sector elements, and then there was like another one for the Navy and Air Force, if I recall. A lot of
Though,
and then on top of that, you had the big pissing matches between Korolev, Chelyabinsk, and Glushko. So yeah, and also we did originally have a military program that was under the Air Force. If you're wondering, Eisenhower really fucking hated the concept of a militarized space program, so he was the one that rammed through making it purely civilian, and basically defunded the Air Force version.
thank you,
And the reason
Eisenhower.
it succeeded was every other branch fucking hated the Air Force in the 40s and 50s.
Because they got all the fancy stuff, I
Well,
presume.
that's because the brass was very obsessed. They were basically the gorillas in Planet of the Apes, where they would just, you know how they highlighted that they would just take over shit? The Air
Because,
Force was really guilty of that. Because
hey, you need
here's
to
the thing,
move.
the
Yeah.
Navy and even the Army had limited rocket programs as well. In fact, the
Hmm.
original Redstones were military rockets,
But,
and
so,
the Navy
but
had a
back,
had a very shitty program that were based on sounders. Fun fact,
But
Robert
back on
Heinlein actually worked for that one briefly before he shifted over to something else.
but back onto
I
game.
just wanted to highlight,
So
like, so this is,
yeah,
you can already tell this is a bit different. I apologize. I just kind
yeah.
of wanted to show that off.
Astronauts, apes see that they are omnivorous. If a human is caught eating a bird or a rabbit instead of maize or taro root, it might just be an astronaut. They also wear those white garments with waterproof pockets and latchless seals.
Oh,
And
and if you're
also,
wondering, the
there,
technology is there's near light travel, time dilates, which is what happens. This is why they
yeah.
time travel in accident.
So yeah,
And then the
and then
hibernation chambers, which that
yeah,
can also happen.
they also give us the challenges of playing an astronaut, in
Also, the
which
Hasline curve. That is the
yeah,
reason that the character. That's the reason that Zira and the other guy managed to
yeah,
get back in time.
which it was hinted at in the first one, if
Yeah.
Hasselon's theories are correct. But the challenges of playing an astronaut, you have no idea what the environment is.
Yeah, you're a stranger in a
That
strange land.
you could have rivals from different agencies. Apes view you as inferior, and if they see you, they will just kill you. Or well, no, they will cut out, they'll lobotomize you and then kill you. Mutants will see you as a tool, and tribal humans will steer clear of you, or maybe kill you.
Also, there are rivals because here's the thing: it's not just ANSA and NASA. Remember, you can totally have the cosmonauts be a thing.
That would be a great story if the cosmonauts and Americans landed, and instead of working together, they fight with each other.
No, and hear me out. Hear me out. Then there's the rare example of the European Space Agency. Like you actually have it from another timeline. You have like because again,
Oh,
remember the time is fucked in this setting.
yeah,
Why not go
but
full crazy with it?
they do give us then the archetypes of tribal humans. Quote: sees danger, beats on a tree with stick.
Okay,
The
fair enough.
tribal protector holds up bone threateningly. The gatherer finds a lovely plant to eat, and the healer licks lips slowly and applies herbs to a wound. But then you get the astronaut mission commander, in which you get your command pack, which includes your 32 pistol and 2 mags of ammo, your science officer, your security
There's Charlton
specialist,
Heston, by the way.
yeah, Charlton Hest, and the tribal healer, Nova. Let's have a kid, and then I'll abandon them as I go away because I don't want to be in this movie.
Yeah,
And then the technical engineer, which, yeah, you have a 4 dice of mechanics. How much mechanical stuff is in this setting?
not a lot.
Yeah.
Although then it
The,
cuts to, hey, look, it's the underground St. Patrick's Cathedral with the
yep.
missile.
Behold, I am coming quickly, and may my reward is with me. To render to every man according to what he has done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end.
That's
The
pretty,
fellowship
yeah.
of the holy fallout. Let us now pray the fellowship prayer of the Redeemer and the psalm of Mendez II. Almighty Bomb, who has destroyed all heavens and created angels, behold his glory. The heavens declare the glory of the bomb, and their firmament showeth his handiwork. His sun has gone out unto all the land, and gives light unto the end of the world. He descendeth from the outermost part of heaven, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. There is neither speech nor language, yet his voice is heard among them. Praise him, my strength and my redeemer. O mighty and everlasting bomb, who came down among us to make heaven under earth, lighten our darkness. O instrument of God, grant us thy peace. Behold the truth that abides in us. Reveal that truth unto that maker. Glory be to the bomb and to the holy fallout, as it was in the beginning, is now, and shall ever be, world without end. Amen.
Which,
And
hey,
I.
remember the Children of Adam from Fallout 3? Guess where they
Oh yeah.
got that idea from?
Oh yeah. Entirely from this.
Also, NDR, the Fallout populations, no, Vault 68 would mechanically fail specifically because
every child would be a descendant of the same mother.
Not only the same mother, but remember, menopause.
Yeah, you'd have limited. You'd only have.
The only way it would work is if you had enough Vault scientists that would know enough about genetics to do the clone experiments that Vault 108 did. But the problem with that experiment is it culminated in Gary, Gary, Gary.
Or imagine we are going to transform from one sex to another. This this dude like the Ed Wood, like some sort of weird Ed Wood-esque sci-fi thing.
That's one of the ways of all time. But hey, mutants! Before word about mutants. Unlike the chapters on the great apes and beast, man, this chapter's not present from an ape's perspective since there's not many apes that have ever run into them.
Yeah. So, mutants, you could be orators, vanguards, exiles, or even the gorilloids. You see, what happened is they survived, but their forms were horribly mutated into a sickly purple-gray fascia, exposed raw muscle and sinew over bone, crisscrossed with a web of dull veins and arteries. They use robes, artificial skin, and illusionary powers to conceal this terrible fate. The other thing is that it makes it impossible for them to survive on the surface.
If you're wondering, this is a reference to what their costumes looked like in Beneath.
Because again, they dropped the budget immensely.
Yeah.
And then you have the Fellowship of the Holy Fallout, who worship the Alpha Omega Bomb.
The Alpha and Omega bomb specifically is the thing that essentially ignited the atmosphere.
No, that was just regular. Well, at the end of the
Yeah, at
second
the
one.
end.
Yeah. And then you've got their doctrines of keeping the faith, keep their technology running, searches for other mutant groups to convert to their beliefs. They have various guilds, which I don't know if this was in a book or
This
something,
is
but yeah,
added
you've
on.
got like
This is added on material.
yeah, Violet Guild, the Cobalt Guild, the Teal, the Yarrow, and the Crimson Guilds. And the challenge is that your psi powers are your only defense. You're not using weapons.
Oh yeah, because your flesh hurts. By the way, their doctrines are the Alpha and Omega. Alpha is humans once ruled the planet, and under their dominion, the planet tethered on the edge of nuclear annihilation. The developed under the name Church Door, the weapon was the Alpha Omega bomb. Built with a cobalt housing, this doomsday weapon was and still is capable of burning the atmosphere and cracking the planet's
Yeah.
crust.
Oh, so it did both. It burned
I
the
was right.
atmosphere and blew up the land.
And then there is the Omega, which is rechristing the doomsday weapon as their god. Mendez turned an instrument of destruction into the symbol of new life. It's a monarchy. Again, faith is the key element. It's a religious cult, and yeah,
Yeah.
these are the guilds.
There's also another challenge. So you've got the psi powers, but you have difficulty controlling the minds of apes. So it is challenging, but obviously it is a lot more social power play going on with this. Because you also have now a mutant splinter group called the Underdwellers, led by the House of Krator.
Also, here's a fun idea from Percival: running it as a horror game where you're apes having to deal with the equivalent of a crazed astronaut that's gone full Rambo or Jason
Oh,
Voorhees. Oh, that's actually that's horrible.
yeah. But then you've got the Underdwellers, sequestered deep in the southern Forbidden Zone. They are located in a volcanic mountain fortress. They use technologies and psi-bolts.
Yeah, I think this is from the comics or from
This
the
just
or
feel
from the animated show.
yeah,
It
this
could be
feels like a
from the
com.
it could be from the short run TV show too.
Yeah. They also have the Greenkeepers. They
I just realized I think that might be where
oh,
all of these came from. Is from the
oh
TV and animated shows, I think.
yeah. But then
Oh,
your
here's a
archetypes.
oh god, the Underdwellers are a Cenobitic monastic order of technocrats.
Oh no.
Oh, that's fantastic.
They also have the Greenkeepers. Basically, they hoard seeds.
The title USA is a mispronunciation of USA.
And the bus of lost ANSA or NASA astronauts.
They're known as the
Or
Onsa and Nasa.
they are missing men and women as divine beings who they await their return. So your mutant archetypes, you've got the exile. It's the one who's trying to search out and explore more lands. Then you have the orator, the vanguard. The vanguard can include a, I think it can include a gorilloid, or at least they show an image of a.
There's the rogue gorilloid.
The makers who were scientocratic cabal of biologists, physicists, and medical doctors who preserved themselves in biological mainframes, living data farms that would survive any electromagnetic pulse. They were driven mad by radiation.
I don't know if this is them stealing from Fallout, which stole from them, because this sounds an awful lot like Fallout Tactics' calculator.
Well, the calculator was literally just a robot.
It also could be a nod to the Big Empty.
It feels like, well, it just feels like it's mad scientists in robot suits
I mean, it's fair.
with their
I'm just
with their
highlighting
sci
that. I'm like, where did they get this from?
again with their cyborg gorillas.
Yeah, rogue gorilloids. They use the
Then they give
radiation in
us
science on you, excising your weak ape parts to make you stronger.
then they give us the psionic
You're
powers.
basically RoboCop as a gorilla. I almost said Robot Cop, which is the off-brand version from Temu. Here's all your psychic powers.
And yeah, you've got your divination stuff, which actually different guilds uh, will give you different abilities. Like your transmogrification powers, only through the Disciple of the Green,
So, side powers
including
can be maintained after a successful psi skill roll. It's indicated in this field. Resisting side powers, you can try to resist it. Any mutant with less than 1d or transmogrification. Consequences of failing a psi power. Ordinary failure. The failure brings no consequence, but rolling a 1 on the wild die, you're stunned. Exceptional failure, you must roll their strength against 15 damage or die. Because 15
uh,
damage sounds like quite a bit.
it could be. I don't know. There might be ways to negate it, because catastrophic is 30 damage.
Yeah,
Both
that's
both
not
are.
good.
Yep.
By the way, reminder that the wild die, there's a reason I call it the fuck you die, because 1 out of 6 of getting the 1.
Well, if you fail.
No, no, 1 on the wild die no matter what.
Oh yeah.
That's bullshit, but again, wild
Yeah.
die
That
is a bullshit thing. Though I will say, at least with psi powers, it makes sense.
it's psionics.
I still say that I
Yeah.
still say it shouldn't kick in unless you're starting to work on stuff that's more difficult.
Though then, after all this,
Like
they then give
once you
like
get after 10, sure.
yeah. They then give your character creation, including like your quirks, your remarkable abilities, motives.
Oh, I'm
I'm
surprised you
saying
didn't
to
want to cover some of the weird psionic abilities, like
eh,
illusionary reality
I think
or
it's fine.
mind
They
freeze.
give
Fair
us
enough.
more on like skills and everything, which
This really quickly slapped together horse drawing. It speaks to me on a I didn't give a shit level. This
and,
two-page
funny
spread
enough,
is so
yeah.
shit.
But funny enough, after that, like every West End game, they give us a solo adventure in
Because
which
yeah, here's
if
the character creation method. Uh,
yeah,
I personally think it shouldn't be this far down in the book, but it's fine. It's fine. I think it should have been a little bit earlier before you got into the archetypes. Personally,
yeah.
personally. But hey, at least it's only 100 pages in. For those wondering, I have looked at Mage 20th Anniversary Edition just out of fun. Character creation doesn't really start until like a page 150.
Well, that's if you go linearly in time.
It's awful. Also, player comfort first, because remember, TTRPGs are infested by bondage clowns to the point where their
Well,
concept of permissions are based entirely on BDSM.
at least this one just says, "Hey, if you're unfamiliar, if you're not familiar, or if you're uncomfortable with a like a theme or some sort of quirk, and you don't really want to play it, yeah, obviously.
Fair enough. I'm just highlighting that the way that it covers player consent's really funny.
At least they didn't say pull out the Ape X card.
The Apex card. Actually, that could no, they should do that because think about the ship
Oh,
post because you could have the see no evil like I don't want to see and then you include that in a token
oh,
picture. I don't want to hear and then you like you don't want to hear and I don't
oh.
want anyone to say and it's like speaking.
Okay, that would be funny. That
Like you could sell that as a shit post. Mage 20th when? That would be like a 5-hour stream. It'd be a two-parter. Fucking hell, no. At least not for a while. At least not for a couple more weeks
yeah.
at least. I don't have the energy for that one. By the way, here's some of the beautiful quirks, which if you're wondering, they use a D66 method.
Things like being a compulsive liar, greedy, adventurous, competitive, forward-looking, a firebug. You love to watch things burn and make them burn.
Here's some of your remarkable abilities, which you can pick up.
Yep. Which give bonuses,
They're pretty nice. There's your motives,
motives.
optional secrets.
hmm Then obviously like selecting your skills, your defenses, personal characteristics. You can also choose to play characters who are kids.
Yes, you can. Oh, also ape currency. In for a Frailin, in for a Gridgeon. There's no paper money in Simia, only coins and promissory notes. Denoted with the mark G, the Gridgeon is the financial standard currency of Simia. A pounded metal brass coin, the Gridgeon is mostly used in more developed areas, such as Ape City itself. It is further divided into smaller, misshapen coins called Frailins. In the provinces, apes will take Gridgeons, but typically prefer bartering.
Yeah. Also, to state that your skills, so after you get your templates, you have 7 dice distributed among your skills, and you cannot allocate more than 2 dice to one skill.
As for how the penalties work, if you're a kid, minus 1d penalty to attribute and skill and rolls of the following. And then with age, that's your penalty there. And they give an
Penalties
example of
to
character
dex and
creation.
strength, and +1 to your knowledge, mechanics and willpower based skills. And then they give obviously improving the character,
Oh no,
which
here's a really cool one. Improving speech. Tribal humans can learn to communicate via sounds and even speak over time.
yeah, I do like this though. So those hero points, that's how you increase your attributes, but only by a limited amount.
Oh yeah, you can't go too far.
So you spend hero points equal to 6 times the number of whole dice in the attribute.
And then
But yes,
from
you get
there,
the
it's Showdown at Simian Junction, which is a solo play adventure.
which they always West End games always had this, where you start and based on if you get a success or a failure or whatever you choose to do, you go to that uh,
You get to that part of the
result.
book.
Yeah, it's like a choose your own adventure. I'm surprised no one's actually ever. They used to do that.
I think
So,
is
so
the rest of the book this?
no. Oh no 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 no. Then you get into how combat works.
Yeah, I just don't want to show the entire thing, so
Yeah,
there we go. Sorry guys,
you know there.
I don't like to show
Yeah,
the adventures because that's kind of an incentive for you to get the book. Or in
yeah,
this case
very.
pre-order it since I think they're
Yeah.
still struggling to print orders. I put it
mm.
in I put a link to it where you can possibly pre-order it. I can't seem to find an easy stock because I think they had delays in releases, but it's coming out, so that's good.
You know, you get uh, basic combat stuff. I think.
Also, you've always been uncomfortable when they introduce child PCs and RPGs, Percival. Uh, well, here's the thing, right? World of Darkness is much guiltier about that because every fucking time if you've ever read a by night book, every fucking time there's a child character. At best, they're usually in their late teens. At
I mean,
worst, at worst, there's a couple of times where they were fetuses.
in this case, like you could play it at. Actually, this would be fun for like a family game. You play as an ape family, but it's just your family.
Ape Family. It's the greatest show that's never been made. But yeah, the combat sequence is you set the scene, you determine the order, which, if you're wondering how they do it, you do a dex roll.
It's yeah,
And then decision
and
time. You decide what the NPCs will do, each player decides what they do, then you do it.
mhm,
So basically you pre-plan what everything does and then you do the thing.
yeah. And then you have your modifiers, various moves you can do.
From an NDR, if you ever run this game, you need to rename the currency to Benendium, like Donkey Kong Bonanza. You could.
They they do bring up also the idea of using maps and miniatures. I need to check who makes ape miniatures.
Well, no, you could just do what Giant Monster Rampage does and just, use your cheap, shitty gorilla toys, like your giant ape toys. Just play
I
with the
see.
toys.
Well, Moonstar board games makes, but they're just regular
I
apes.
mean, hey, can I proxy them with Joe Caro?
Yeah, but that's only one model. What
I mean, that at least gets
you
you the
need?
orangutan scientist.
Let's see. Uh,
I mean,
well, you know,
I have a suggestion, but it'll get us banned. Why don't you just proxy it with Zulu? A bit of a nod to a dude who was banned for saying that you can replace the Kroot with the Zulu.
actually, no. Unfortunately, I searched this up, and I'm looking, and one of them literally is the pygmies from Warhammer Fantasy as a related search.
You could proxy them, yeah.
Actually, wait, Lucid Eye does have Savage core range for the Warlords of Irwan. Does have monkey people.
I mean, you could do that. You could always go to Modiphius's John Carter line and just substitute with Great White Apes. Just
You've
ignore that
got
they have multiple
Eureka,
arms.
You got Boiler Suit Apes. So there's tons. There's tons around.
I'll note the proxying with Zulu thing is it's a meme. It's a meme from a dude who tried to say that you could replace the Kroot with them.
And it got to the point where people were like, "Can I use these Tau as Italians?"
Yeah, and the dude was banned because what the fuck, my guy.
No, you use the Zulu for Zulu Army for Guardsmen.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to do a
That would
PDF unit, that'd be pretty cool.
oh,
I,
that'd be fun.
Space Marine chapter based on the Zulu.
Oh, hell yeah.
There you go. I came up with a new idea.
You take their shields and use it for for like the blade guard, like these big grandiose shields. Um, but continuing on,
Ranged attacks.
uh,
Ranged attacks use perception, strength for
yeah,
throwing, and mechanics for gunning.
yeah.
Distance and range is a factor, and this gives you a vague idea on how distance works for these things. As for if you're depending on range, that determines what the difficulty number was.
Yeah, there's all these other stats like if you're swimming, disarming, area of effect with like
Also, most apes
grenades.
struggle to swim.
Yeah, scaling damage based on your if it's supposed to be character scale or grand scale. Um,
You can pull punches, which allows you to straight up just knock people the fuck out.
I
Here's
do
the
want to
falling
go.
dice.
Yeah,
Lawgiver's Lore. Chapters 10 and 11 cover many environments and situations that can cause
yeah.
fatigue.
I do want to give
Here's the
with
scatter roll system.
uh like as they go to the mental trauma on page 144. If you get mental trauma, mental recovery. I
Oh
do
god,
remember though.
this about to dissect a human.
Yeah. If you do if you are an astronaut and you do realize you're on Earth, you immediately experience like fear or madness.
There's infection, recovering from injury. Here we are, mental trauma,
Yeah. Oh,
resisting
that's a
mental
great image for
attacks,
mental trauma.
resisting.
Oh, that's Landon being lobotomized.
The human is shaken. See the trauma experience. Attack difference less than the psyche, no trauma. Between the psyche and less than psyche times 2, stunned. Between psyche times 2 and less than times 3, shaken. Then traumatized, and then severely traumatized.
And we get on page 148 a wonderful image of Landon actually being lobotomized.
Fear and madness, optional rules, by the way. You can add these in if you want to add more
Yeah.
mental trauma.
And we get the great line, "It's a madhouse! A madhouse!"
Here's the madness quirks. So the madness table, madness quirks are gained by rolling on the table below. Because when you get traumatized badly enough, if you get with trauma, severely traumatized or enduring trauma, madness persists until you can undergo recovery or get lobotomized.
Catatonia, phobia, hallucinations, memory loss, amnesia, memory loss.
Amnesia.
But then we get to the armory, which I do have to ask,
Oh
how
god,
do the
these
apes have
guns look like
bullets?
shit.
Well, they're ape guns.
They look like shit. I forgot how shitty the guns look.
Oh, you need to go down. Go to page.
These look like stuff. These look like things you'd see in early
Yeah,
Mike Pondsmith books.
they do give like rerolling different weapons.
Hey, they use the
Like
availability from like fantasy flight
yeah,
scenarios.
you can choose with ammo either unlimited, where unless you roll a 1 on the wild die, you never run out of ammo, or you
So you
track your
still run
ammo,
of you still run out of ammo statistically 1 out of 6 times every fucking time. Okay.
or when the lawgiver gives them a hero point in exchange.
I'm sorry, but the wild die is the worst thing in the system. It is
Yeah,
genuinely it is genuine ass, and I'm never
it's
using that
wild.
mechanic. It is genuine ass. But here's all the actions you can do with it. You can do a semi-auto, full auto, mow down, burst effect. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah. But I do want to go to the weapons. So you've got the old world range weapons in which the price is priceless.
Let's
And
see.
you
Modern
get
ape,
the
black powder, old world. There we are.
old world range weapons. The old world revolver. These 6 shooters saw common usage from law apes of the old world.
Oh, you're just going through the descriptions. You skipped quite a bit ahead.
I skipped because they got
Yep,
the
there we go.
images.
They're still more advanced from a more advanced time. The Army 6-shooter. Ancient
The
pistols, the
P38,
quintessential Old West style 6-shooter.
wait, the P38, which passed down from predominant guerrilla military family.
Yeah, the Walther PPK. Or
But
P38.
veterans, your manhunters have arrived on page 165.
Oh, look, Old World Revolver. These 6-shooters saw common usage from lawmen, crossed out law apes.
Yes,
That's fun.
that it.
Also, some archaic ranged weapons like the crude stick bow, slingshots. You can get a knife.
Yeah. But the modern
Catchballs,
ape
which were used.
firearms. The Sterling Arms Model 38, the Ray of Room 88 Manhunter, the Ray of Voom A50 9x19mm submachine gun, which clearly is not just a old world submachine gun dressed up in an ape's aesthetic. It is not.
Why are they covered like that?
I don't know.
I don't get why they have these weird chunky covers.
I think probably they're supposed to be like they're made out of wood.
But that's not what. Okay. They look more like they're made out of Bakelite, I'll be honest.
Like they show here like a modern ape fragmentation grenade.
I just
Which
realized what these remind me of.
what?
They remind me of Ogre and Rippers. Because look at how
Oh,
chunky they are. Maybe it's because that way you can use them as a club.
you know that could be, or for the proper size of an ape's hands.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
I like how the modern ape fragmentation grenade is just a small naval mine. It just looks like a small naval mine.
Yeah,
Mine. And here is the demolitions result.
the boom table.
Yep. And descriptions. These are how they work.
Yeah. Then you get toolkits, the astronaut's spacesuit, survival pack,
Yep. The rucksack, astronaut's advanced spacesuit, Geiger counter.
artillery if you need it, including ballistas, and
There's a
also
lot of
for
material here. There's
a
so much.
catapult. You can get a giant rock.
I'm
Just
going to disagree with you, NDR. The ape weapons, while they look like there's something you might see in Star Wars, it's not something you'd see often. It'd be like a one-shot weapon you'd see from like a mercenary species or something.
yeah.
It'd be similar to the Gaddafi that the Sand People / Tuscans use. Like you'd see it and you'd blink and miss it. Like yeah, it's something you could see. It's something maybe like I'd see a Wookiee use just because it's so bulky. Apparently, I'm a fool for not understanding the elegance of the ape gun. Looks terrible. It doesn't look as bad as some of the Mike Pondsmith stuff from Cyberpunk, but still.
Primitive human malfeasance.
Also, if you're wondering, their artillery are things like ballistas and catapults, because yeah, they do know how to make guns, but it's relatively crude.
Yeah.
Sometimes they
Though after
actually have. Oh, they also have cannons. They do know how to make
yeah.
cannons.
Though after all of this, they do give uh, vehicles from wagons to spacecraft. The quote from Cornelius and Zira: "Flight is a scientific impossibility, and even if it weren't, why fly? Where could it get you?"
Quite a few places actually,
How would you know?
because I came from the space. I came from space. Where are you on this actually? Since it seems like you're jumping
One
around a bit.
180.
Okay.
I'm just going through quickly with the vehicle. First of all, shut up, stupid human. Our guns are cool, okay? I should hold page 183.
Something for every ape. Not all vehicles
Yeah,
have a formal crew, but every ape aboard a vehicle can do something useful.
yeah.
Crew
You've got the
titles.
command ape, the foot ape, which is the co-pilot, the
Artificer ape.
artificer ape, the artillery ape, the repair ape, and then the cart ape or the steers ape for the driver or pilot.
Vehicle with no carts ape. Use common sense to determine if the affected vehicle component can be repaired. Vehicle motion, blah blah blah. There's a lot of stuff for vehicles. This is the entire vehicle section.
Yeah,
It's a little chunky, it's a little clunky, but here's the thing.
because it's both for
It's new mechanics
like
for a new system,
yeah.
and but here's the thing. This still makes it better than GURPS with handling vehicles because want to know one of the many reasons why people don't like to fucking play GURPS? A lot of settings that you would want to use would have to use its vehicle mechanics, and those things are dog shit. It is complicated, clunky, and a pain in the ass. NDR, you thought they were gonna go Flintstones where they run, where they just run with their feet. In fairness, there might be carts like that in some of the more backwoods areas of the region.
A man-driven carriage.
Oh yeah, like a rickshaw, but with human
It's
tribals.
it's a manpower of it's a manpower of 40 per hour.
Here are some catastrophic effects. One for modern ape vehicles such as wagons, rowboats, and other for old world. Pick the table that most corresponds. So this is what happens if they've been badly damaged.
First of all, well, here's the thing. It's been over 1,000 years. Do you think bananas are still around or they are extinct?
Sure, we haven't seen it yet, so maybe it'll be in some of the stuff you
Yeah.
can get. There's a lot of vehicle weapons. There's a lot of stuff to customize for
Like
vehicles, like the rowboat,
yeah,
the wooden raft.
well, and then they give like wagons
These are
from
very
the World
commonly used
Before,
because, again, backward they've lost a
motorcycle,
lot of tech.
sedans, because some. Okay, what if you got a Pinto?
From the world before, because there are vehicles from that period, but most of them are gone.
Imagine if you found an old Pinto.
There is also astronaut craft.
Ancient military horseless carriages.
Yeah, the thing is,
Oh,
they lost their ability to make these things.
oh, and they do give the spacecrafts.
Yes, they do.
I think the two that were in the movie.
Yes, they did.
Then they give GM or lawgiver stuff, and I'm saying we skip that because, well,
Yeah, because it's just
w-
how do you GM anything
I'm
else?
trying to get to.
Environmental zones and effects.
No, they give a whole section on
All of
areas you can
NPCs.
explore.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that too. In fairness, I only got the book about 20 minutes before we started streaming. Limits of the Known World, A Planet of Apes. It starts on page 230. In the late 3900s, the planet still heals from wounds repeatedly suffered over the past 2 millennia. So here's a variety of the locations.
So you've got Simia, a small nation state inland from the northeast seaboard of the western continent.
It has flourished since the last cataclysm of 900 years ago.
You've got the common districts, Lake Ape, the Ape Estates, Central Square. This is all in Ape
This is all
City.
Ape City, the last great city.
The National Museum, the National Academy,
It started with a
Dosage.
grant from the Zayas estate many centuries ago.
Hmm.
Adobe abodes of the apes, all Stone Age through Iron Age ape buildings. The National Academy.
Which the reason why they did that because originally they were going to have a modern city, but that would have gone way over budget, and they kind of thought having this sort of like primitive tribal society kind of fit.
Well, yeah, it's post-apocalypse. The residential district, Bridge District, the Alaric Rapids, the Rihanna
And
Falls,
they give stats for
the ape
orangutan solicitor.
tenements.
Yeah. Then you've got the gorilla goon.
And they're called different things like cannon fodder, extra,
Mm,
ally or enemy.
yep. Research human.
Yep.
The provinces, rural settlements, fish and produce farms, community theater.
Bananas have regressed back to their seeded version to deal with the thousands of plagues across time. Actually, here's the thing, NDR. Bananas. We struggled to keep them around because we mono-cultivated them so badly that originally, if you're curious, you ever notice how banana candies have a very different flavor to the bananas in real life?
Mm-hmm.
That's because that lineage got destroyed by a fungus, and the current one we're growing is also getting destroyed by the same fungus since it evolved again.
Oh.
Bananas may actually go extinct because it is a pain in the fucking ass. At least the traditional yellow ones. Fun fact: there's a type of red banana that was also relatively popular in some areas of the world. They stopped being popular because of the yellow Cavendish and the Chiquita bananas.
Oh, I'll take a red banana then.
They're supposed to taste even sweeter than the. They're supposed to taste even sweeter, almost berry-like, apparently.
More beta carotene and vitamin C than yellow bananas.
Yep, and they're supposedly sweeter as well.
Except they got the Panama disease.
Ah, yeah.
Resistant. Yep. Yeah, they're.
Bananas are fucked. Yeah. I'm actually gonna argue they probably went the same way as cats and dogs in the setting. I'm sorry, Percival, but
I think.
it
Are
just happened.
plantains fine? I think
Plantains
plantains might be.
and their wild varieties are doing okay.
But we got like rainforests, farmers,
I could see them growing fried plantains. Well, plantains and
aurochs,
frying them.
bison with thick skulls.
Hashtag save the bananas. I think we're kind of fucked. I think we put them into an evolutionary dead end.
Yeah. Oh, you could fight a rad boar.
That looks more like a dog than a pig.
That's a yeah. The murder vine, prey birds.
What
But
the
this gets
hell
us
are
to
those
the
weird X things?
prey birds.
They look like this looks like a weird version of the T pose to establish dominance. Like they look like Mothmen.
Yeah, they're prey birds.
Oh, that's supposed to be
Or
their wings. I thought these were just like dudes like fucking posturing on a hill.
I don't know if it's. Let's see. They reach up to wingspans of 1.5 meters.
Wait, maybe I think what happened was they might have been in the movie somewhere, and they just had dudes
Mm.
in awful costumes posturing to make them look like
That
giant
that or
birds.
these are like some of the illusions of the Forbidden Zone.
It could be.
Let's see. We then have scarecrow mark. Oh, those might be scarecrow markers
Ah, that would make sense.
that resemble the god ape titan Gigor.
There's border pits, the bluffs, Apehead Bay, which
Let's
is
see.
shaped like an ape's head, and the reef, which is a prison.
And then the Forbidden Zone, which is, yes, forbidden to you. Legends and myths. Metal armored apes float across the dry desert, protecting lost cities with their searing eye beams.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous because here's the thing: Ape City bans people from traveling, the apes from traveling there.
Hmm.
You literally can go to you can genuinely get disappeared.
And radiation.
And here are some of the regions. There are dead lakes, which are saltwater lakes.
Yeah, you
All
get
large bodies found in the Forbidden Zone are dead.
daytime temperatures in the Forbidden Zone can reach a sweltering 54 degrees Celsius. It can drop to a brisk -7 Celsius.
Yeah, it's
There
pretty
are
nasty.
red lightning strikes and sandstorms. Yeah, this is not a good place.
The eastern seaboard. Past the eastern desert lies a jagged shoreline of deadly sea that few of Simia's apes have survived. It is feared the tentacled monstrosities fable to plummet's death. Black beaches. The volcanic sands here alternate between fine ashen grains and black glass shards. The
And
under
I realize this, since they give us stats for a shark, I have the brilliant idea of Jaws versus the Planet of the Apes.
I mean that's not fair to the apes. They struggle to make anything more advanced than small ships to ensure they don't drown.
I Does the title not intrigue you?
Also, straight up, they have mechanics for scurvy because remember there are disease mechanics in this game.
Hmm.
So be careful, get your vitamin C. So here are some creatures
Oh,
you can run into, like the sawtoothed eel or
they
the
also
striped
say that
shark.
yeah, they also say that there's an island kingdom, perhaps one ruled by a queen ape, ready to reward any gorilla, chimpanzee, or orangutan that is brave enough to make the journey. But I do like the idea of the baboon pirates.
Basically, a couple of species that were. The other thing is since it's only the ape area here, there's probably more.
Yeah. Then we get the underworld.
The planet of the sharks. The apes get on a spaceship and arrive planet of the sharks. That's a funny
Yes.
idea, Elestal.
We get Old Manhattan.
So yeah, what happened was during the nuclear exchange, many portions of the world were basically similar to Degenesis. Entire sections of the crust upheaved, and a good chunk of Manhattan got folded under.
Planet of the Street Sharks.
There's the Cavern of the Holy City.
Yeah.
There's Central Park, which is a blackened mess of charred and petrified foliage. There is an
Then the
amusement park.
Grand Central Terminal, the Track 19 Amphitheater,
By the way, all
and
of
of
these
course,
were from a musical. Basically, they had the set of a
yeah.
musical that was supposed to take place in New York, and they just kind of said, fuck it, it's post apocalypse.
Then you have St. Patrick's Cathedral, which hides the high sanctuary for the Alpha Omega bomb.
There is also the public library and Grand Army Plaza.
And they give us stats for the Doomsday Bomb,
Alpha and
which
Omega, the Doomsday Bomb, Church Door, the Holy Weapon of Peace. Alpha Omega is known by many names under the protection of the Fellowship of the Holy Fallout. The intercontinental ballistic missile turned to Holy Relic by far more ornate and deadly than standard ICBM.
they literally give stats for the speed, its movement, the autopilot. Once launched, the damage is dependent upon a random roll of the Divine Divination and Lawgiver's Lore. While the bomb should be left in peace, you put a world-destroying weapon in a game, and some player is going to want to use it. If or when the Divine Bomb is fired in your campaign, the LG should roll in the table below, in which most of the time it's going to either fizzle, fall down,
Well, no,
destroy.
on average, there's what you're going to get
Assist.
with the 2d6, because the way it works is a 2d6. It'll do either a dud or it will be a 20 megaton strike.
It can get up to Burnt to a Cinder or 12, which is the ending of Beneath. In one of the countless billions of galaxies in the universe lies a medium-sized star, and one of its satellites, a green and insignificant planet, is now dead.
Which I think is really funny. You know what I'm going to do for fun after we finish this book? I'm going to roll 2d6 to see what happens in this timeline's version of Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Hold on, I've got 2d6 right here. Nuclear 20 megaton strike.
On average, you're going to get 20. I'll do one at the end myself when I can get to
Oh
a
no, I
dice
just
roll.
rolled. I literally rolled a 12.
Which is what happened at the end of the movie, I think.
Yeah, I do like though that yes, as saying NDR. What's the point? You stat it out. Like this is part of the game.
It's
This is part
literally
of the
the
story.
second move. It's literally something from the second movie. It was
If
supposed to
you
end
want
the
to
franchise.
recreate, if you want to recreate the plot, you're gonna have to include this. But what I do
This
like,
would be
because if
like
I,
complaining about, well, why the fuck did you have the Star Forge? Well, because it's there. It was built by the Rakatans. Yeah, it's bullshit and insane what it can do, but it's in the setting. This is a major piece of thing in the setting.
I honestly would have done it as this is the game over thing, because I would have thought, yeah, I would have done that. But then again,
Well, it might not necessarily be.
yeah,
Like, it's pretty rare to get
it's
tornado
a
in the sky.
1,000-year-old bomb.
A 1,000-year-old poorly maintained bomb by very few people who know how to do it. By the way, here are the stats for it. Scale 5, autopilot 2D, cargo, the warhead, supply 2,000 kilometer. So yeah. Also, if you get a
Uh,
10, irradiated paradise. The continent is charred and now only survivable by mutants.
so honestly, most of the time, it wouldn't have killed everybody.
It's just what happened was Charlton Heston forced them to re-roll until they got a 12. No, 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 roll again. I'm not doing a
Damn
third
you!
movie.
Damn you, dice! Roll me boxcars. I
Actually,
need to go.
that's why he paid. That's why he gave up his salary. Every time they
I
couldn't get a 12, he gave them another $1,000 so that he doesn't
I
have to
need
be.
wait, I need to get killed by vampires and Omega Men.
Oh yeah, Mega Man. Which, if you're wondering, that is I Am Legend. That is another variant of I Am Legend, and it's pretty good. The Omega Man.
Yeah. But then you get not only after the old world, you get New Manhattan.
Well, yeah, because a good chunk of it had to be reconstructed.
Wait, no. High-powered monorails and transparent
Oh, this is
tubes
new.
replace up. New York. Is this a Futurama reference?
It is.
Holy crap! Because they did a joke where it's like the mutants do worship a bomb, but it's more of a Easter, Christmas sort of religion.
So if any of the makers in the Gorilloid army still live, it's likely they call New Manhattan their home. Legend says they waged war there for centuries against an unknown enemy said to be of immense intellect. The enemy also controls its own drone force, diminutive half-human monstrosities in conical helmets that are said to shoot burning light from their hands. That's interesting.
Do they fight the Brotherhood of Steel?
That's actually really interesting. Oh, this is awesome. There's also the
Which actually,
Underdweller Mountain. This is cool.
which actually means after ape society rose up, humanity
Oh,
rebuilt and then blew itself up again.
oh, I think I know what happened. This might be stuff from the cartoon.
Uh,
This could be
you
stuff
know
from
what?
the
It's
cartoon or
on
from the
YouTube.
live action show.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like, wouldn't it make sense to after the movies? Like, wouldn't you want to expand it even more? Like for specifically cartoons, especially
Yeah. But then they give us,
how to navigate the
uh,
world below. So the world
yeah,
below table. This is stuff you can find as you explore.
poison fumes, fungus, roots, tribal humans.
I love this table, by the way. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a big space filler, but I like that they're expanding the forbidden zone quite a bit. There's also
it's,
chambers,
maze-like corridors,
structures.
subterranean structures.
Oh God, imagine if you found like a partially sunken military complex.
Yeah.
Oh, this is neat.
But but then you have to be aware of the monsters in the underworld. The white ones.
Oh yeah,
With
let's show some of these monsters off. Oh wait,
albino bipedal creatures that are part human, part ape, with shaggy tufts of hair, reflective red eyes, and they do not season their food.
the result of genetic engineering, these albino creatures are part human and part ape. Yep,
You get mutants,
there's quite a few mutants.
a gorilloid warrior. Respect and fear no ape, human, nor mutant but the makers.
The only weapons we have are purely illusion. You just imagine that he hurt you. Traumatic hypnosis is a weapon of peace.
I just gave you post-traumatic stress disorder. Weapon of peace. Also, and part pig.
I mean,
Man, bear,
if
pig.
you wanted to, you could put man, bear, pig as an encounter.
But then there's the other area,
There's
the
also
northern
puffer pods,
wastes.
which these work as deadly spores. Anyone who inhales it can drop unconscious. If not brushed, washed, or burned off, the spores will burrow into your flesh.
G-rated movie series, everyone.
Yeah. If they're not treated medically, they become fertilizer for a new fresh bed of puffer pods.
Oh, so remember, if this is supposed to be New York, I believe south that meant the apes live in New Jersey. The northern wastes, considering it's hundreds of kilometers north,
It's the
is this
Catskills.
Canada?
No, this is the Catskills, I think. Catskills in parts of Canada.
In
This is
which,
the, you know, the low-lying mountain ranges that are in northern New York and along the Canadian
mm,
border?
yeah,
That's what they are. There's the
the
Jagged Peaks, the Ghost Trail,
yeah,
Ice
in
Ape
which we have
Canyon.
the ice apes of Kigor, the mountain apes. They seek a monastic order that seeks world harmony. They follow Kigor, a 9-meter tall ape from simian myth.
I think this shit is from the cartoon.
This feels comics, though.
It could be comics. There's also, if you're curious, there is an entire series of Planet of the Apes comics.
I think was it Marvel?
I don't remember, but I'm damn sure they had comic rights. There's the Arctidus bear, which those are modified. Oh, those are polar bears. A rare brown variety is said to exist.
Yes, it was Marvel. It was Marvel.
I'm not surprised. And Adventures on the Planet of the Apes, which an introductory adventure, which we're also not going to show you.
And I think though I think that's pretty much the rest of it.
That covers everything that I want to cover for this book. Like I said, if you want to read the rest of it, I did give a link to where you can get a pre-order, where you can pre-order it at the very least.
I have to say that was really fun reading it.
I'm glad we read this because it was entertaining. Also, yes, I did say that I was going to do my own nuclear apocalypse scenario, right?
Yep.
So with
Roll
that
that
in mind,
2d6.
all right, let me go back to the Omega weapon because I got a really lame result. What was my lame result? Fall down and oh no, it fell down and go boom. Collapses on launch pad and detonates for minimal effect within 2.5 kilometers. Flash. So everyone in the area is dead. So that's actually what happened at the end of Beneath the Planet of the Apes in my setting.
In one of the hundreds of films made in the 20th century, one filmmaker has killed the sequel of his own show.
Has Monkey saved RPG? Maybe. I don't know. I would say this is overall a pretty decent book. I can't really say that it's good because the wild die as a mechanic is just terrible.
I throw the wild die out, or at least not throw it out, but like
You have to
use it
customize it.
use it for that rare emotional moment. Having it always we compare it to the stress die. The stress die works because
You don't
you're
always have
using
it.
it. You don't always have it, but you're using it first, and as it builds up, you get more stressed, like you would be if you're dealing with the alien.
Well, not only that, but it's a risk and reward scenario. This is just
In this,
yeah, you can get some nice benefits because the alpha results are usually really good. It's just you're going to get that 16.6 repeating decimals part of the time, and then you're going to do the same for the negative, and the negative is just not worth it.
I mean, one thing it has shown me is, okay, you really can make an RPG out of anything, especially
Yep.
because a lot of these series has so much lore to it. Like, I've realized this. Did you know there's over 40 books for the Wizard of Oz series? And that's just canon. There's a whole bunch of other books people have made because a lot of it's now, I
Public
believe,
domain.
public domain. There's like a Russian version. There's a whole group of people, and there's people that are dedicated to like the lore of it.
I mean, yeah, you name anything with an elaborate IP, you can make an RPG out of depending on how it goes. All in all, like I said, all you have to do is customize the wild die. I think the trick I would go with is I would have wild die become a thing. I would just use the stress die mechanic where you don't start with a wild die, and then if you fail, you can push it, but you have to use the wild die as a reroll.
Yeah,
And then
I do have.
you pick up more wild dice, and then what you do is if you get more ones than sixes, that's bad. If you get more sixes than one, that benefits.
Yeah. Also, I do have to say the source book they have, the ANSA file, it does include stats for all of your characters, including pre and post lobotomy Landon.
Wow.
Yes, if you want to play as a lobotomized human being, I first have to say why. Second, I don't think there's any way to do that without being insensitive to people who actually suffered from lobotomies.
I mean, most of them are
And
dead now.
still, three, I'm pretty sure lobotomized Landon had muscle memory, and that's how he taught the chimps to use the spaceship to travel back in time.
You're not wrong. That is how it actually happened. Oh man.
There are stats for Dr. Zaius, though.
Well, there'd have to be.
Oh, Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. It's Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. He's responsible for the end of his own planet. But yeah, like I said, I'd say I'm gonna have to rate it a decent because honestly, again, the wild die is just such a negative. Also, I will be frank. The art assets are rough. They look like stuff that you would get for cheap, like an art station sort of thing. Like you got an art station's Fiverr artist equivalent. It's usually not too bad. Like I don't mind. It's workman like it works. Like it covers what you need, right? And I think I prefer painting rather than just taking someone's photo and then just digitally editing that. That like there's at least a little more effort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that horse picture was fucking terrible. That horse picture was very unfinished. Did you just get the rough sketch? Also, a lot of it was traced. That's the other
That I
thing.
mean, it could be ape painting.
Now, if they did that, that would have been clever. That would have been
We
clever if they
purposely
did
did
that.
it. Actually, no. Funny. We literally paid an ape to draw this.
that should be a collector's edition version.
That actually would be kind of funny.
Collector's edition version of it. So yeah, that's Planet of the Apes. I'm actually kind of glad we did this. Oh God, I think next week. Are we gonna do the other one next week? The terrible vampire book you got?
No, no. I think we can save that for later. Next
Thank
week,
God.
maybe we start exploring BattleTech.
I did promise to do another BattleTech. We'd have to find a good book for that though.
Maybe we head to the hinterlands of 3152.
That's early jihad, isn't it?
No, that's current day lore.
Okay.
That's
We,
the
we, we
Ilkhan
can give.
era.
I don't really care for that era at all, but okay. I mean, I think it would be reasonable.
Eh,
So yeah, I guess next week we're covering Ilkhan era. That should be interesting for them, not necessarily for me. I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of the new setting. You can
neither
hear
are a
my
bunch of
liver
people.
cry in relief. Yeah, honestly, horrible vampire books are just entertaining.
Oh yeah, yeah, we'll keep waiting on the vampire book. It's how to play as a vampire band, aka, hey, do you want to play as Lestat from um, Interview with a Vampire? Here you go.
Okay. Yeah, that okay. There we go. That's the pain. I'll
Yeah.
leave you with that. Night, everyone.